Live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over social media, mainstream media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, we have a speech or an address from President Trump coming up here pretty soon, 9 p.m. tonight. What will the topic be? Venezuela, the economy, the illegal immigration. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, is out. As I said, he should have done back in June. And I got a bunch of feedback. Hey, some of y'all, ABL, I love Dan Bongino. He'll never quit. Okay. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, RIP to Rob Reiner and his wife. Their 32-year-old son, Nick, who had all kind of problems. Basically, a school shooter who didn't screw up a shoe, killed his parents instead. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the Bondi Beach shooting out there in Australia. Surprise, surprise. A bunch of Muslims attacked Jews. Who would have thought? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the DC police have been fudging numbers to make the crime stats look better than what they actually are. Are you surprised at that? If you are, you shouldn't be. Also, a little bit of that Candace and Erica drama. We'll talk about all of that a little bit more a little bit later on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all again for joining me. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Quite a bit going on, quite a bit of breaking news. I'm talking about stuff happening right now today. Stuff that is going to happen that has not happened yet. So, Dan Bongino. Oh, we gonna get into Dan Bongino. Look, Dan Bongino is out. He will be done at the FBI in January. Now, didn't I do a video back in June saying, hey, Dan, look, I understand you got a problem with the Epstein files and you screaming at Susie Wiles, you screaming at whoever it was. What was it? It was Susie Wiles, and then who's the other lady he was screaming at? You screaming at two women. You screaming on them. Who's the Attorney General? Let me look it up right now. Let me sure I'm saying the right thing. Pam Bondi. Okay. You screaming on Pam Bondi. You screaming on Susie Wiles. You're mad about the Epstein files, and you want to go home. You were on Fox News back then talking about I miss my wife and all this, that. It's like, bro, I get it. Podcasting is not as stressful as being the deputy FBI director. I get it. I totally understand. But once you realize that this job wasn't for you, at that point, it should have been time to go ahead and just fall back. Now you want to fall back 6 months later? I done already called it back then. I feel vindicated. I've been saying he should have quit back then. Talking about okay, I'm going to just storm off and nobody knows where I am. I left on Wednesday, and as of that Monday, nobody knew where I was. Bro, at that point, you should have left. So I'm glad, Mr. Bongino, that you're finally leaving. Like I said, you should have 6 months ago. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But I'm glad that he is just realizing that the job is not for him. Some are going to say, well, look, he tried. Okay, thank you for trying. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate your effort. But sometimes we try things and we realize, you know what, it's not for us. Okay, it's not for us. Like, if I was to go out and try to be an NFL football player, I get hit one time by some Ray Lewis type of dude that loves violence, loves to hurt people. You know what? Never mind, y'all got it. Hey, I tried, but I'm going to get hit one time and realize it's not for me. What I'm not going to do is get hit one time by a Ray Lewis or an Ed Reed type character, get my whole block knocked off, get my neck, back, MCL, ABL, BBL, readjusted, tore out the frame, tore out the box. I'm not going to have all that happen and then just go home. Nah, I got to quit the team. I can't just be getting a paycheck from the team and still be on the team without leaving it. Nah, if I'm gonna still get paid, if I'm gonna still get the monies from this particular team, I gotta go there and perform. If I cannot perform, if I realize that I'm not going to be good at this job, it's time for me to go. It's very simple. So I'm glad he realized that. Now, Cash Patel, all eyes on you, bro, because you and Dan came in together. Y'all both podcast bros, socialite bros, you know, wearing T-shirts and stuff like this. Y'all both came in the same way, and you guys are both getting criticism. So what's next for Mr. Bobs and Virginia himself, Cash Patel? Yes, I said it. Don't nobody get offended. Shout out to the Indians. You guys are great. But you know I'm telling the truth. You got a SWAT team for your girlfriend, bro. A SWAT team protection detail for your girlfriend. And you got mad because they had left her alone for like a second at an event at a stadium. It's like, bro, your girlfriend is not President Trump, okay? Your girlfriend is not some elected official. Your girlfriend is not an important person for all intents and purposes. I mean, we're all important. We're all God. Okay, cool. But your girlfriend is not important enough to have a whole SWAT team. So you focus on the wrong thing, in my humble opinion. But if you're able to do well in your role, then all is forgiven. Your performance will trump any kind of controversy. If your performance is not up to snuff, it's not up to par or beyond par, then your off the field, if you want to say, activities are going to be highlighted. The girlfriend you want to try to protect with the SWAT team from the federales. That's just extra stuff you really shouldn't be doing, but we'll see. We shall see. Like I said, all eyes on Cash Patel. Now, here's my question. Who will they get to replace Dan Bongino? If you're just now coming in, breaking news today, Deputy FBI Director and beloved podcast host Dan Bongino is leaving the FBI in January, as I predicted that he would or should back in June when they had that big blow up with Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles over the Epstein files. And the Epstein files got to be the biggest nothing burger, nothing here, misdirection, psyop, wasted time that I've ever seen in my whole natural life. You know what else is a big waste of time in the psyop? Candace Owens and Erica Kirk and everybody else. I told y'all to not pay any attention and to let it play out. And some of the same people who said, nah, ABL, some of those same people today, after the meeting with Erica and her appearance on Piers Morgan, they're mad at Candace, talking about, oh, you got the call, the Jews paid you, and the Turner Point USA lawyers came to Nashville speaking Latin, and you got scared. And you know, the funniest part about those who are now mad at Candace and they want to turn it back on her because they are disappointed at what's going on. They thought it would be some kind of real thing from her. They're talking about, oh, no, the only guy telling the truth anymore is Ian Carroll, the guy that she put on. It's like, oh, okay. So you're mad at Candace Owens and think that she's a liar and the Jews have compromised her. So you're going to just go to her employee. Okay, cool. Hey, if I'm Candace, it don't even matter. You know what? Don't believe me no more. Believe this random white dude I got from Central Booking in Los Angeles. Believe him. Okay, he going to be doing the videos from now on, and I'm going to still get the check at the end of the day. And I could be with my husband and my 4 kids. Hey, you know what? To me, it's funny. To me, it's hilarious, all of what's happening right here. But I told y'all to stop paying her any attention, paying any of that any attention, is let it play out. And then I said over and over again, when the smoke clears, we'll see what's what, who did what to who, who's with who, and who get money from where. I told y'all. But if what has happened with this Erica Kirk meeting and the Piers Morgan interview is not enough, you'll see over time, and it's okay. It's okay. You shall see. And hey, again, shout out to Candace, nothing against her. But in my humble opinion, what's happening here is she's just saying things that she probably should not say because this Charlie situation got her rattled. And you're not making sound decisions, because it's one thing to say things for clickbait and whatnot. I don't think Candace needs to do that. Candace is still going to be Candace. Candace get on TV, to get on a YouTube channel and talk about anything, and it's still going to be popular. People still going to watch because she is that big of a star. I mean, there's videos of her that go viral all the time talking about random stuff. One of my favorite videos from Candace is when she's talking about the whole transracial thing versus transgender. Speaking to Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, who is the vice mayor of Stockton, California. Very interesting. We got influencers, active influencers running Hollywood blogs as vice mayors. But anyway, when he was talking about this whole transgender thing, and she's like, look, if you could be transgender, why not transracial? Rachel Dolezal, why can't she be transracial? Oh, because she's not really black. She's white. Oh, okay, well, it's a man, not a woman. Videos like that from her go viral all the time. So I don't think this is a scheme for her to try and go viral. She's been the star for the past 10 years. And there's nothing that any of y'all could do to stop her. I told y'all, I said it from the beginning. I feel vindicated in this case with Candace and also with Dan Bongino and everything else. Sometimes I say things, people are mad, they get offended, they get upset, even my conservative friends. But after a while, they realize I'm right. I was just a little bit too early. If I said the exact same thing after my prediction became true, then everybody would be cool with it because it was proven to be true. But if I'm a little bit early, it's like, wait a minute, ABL. You can't do that. You can't say that. I'm offended. I'm subscribing. Oh, okay. You'll be back when you realize that I was right. You shall be back when you realize I was right. That's how that goes. Thank you, Peg. You said I said it. Thank you. And for you guys just now coming in, Trump's speech is at 9 p.m. So I cut to that and when the time calls for it. But right now, it's still pretty early. Be at about 8:23 on the East Coast. So we got a little while longer. Yeah, she's a top podcast in the world for a reason. Listen, a lot of people say a lot of different things about Charlie, Turning Point, everybody else. All of us have been talking about it to some degree. Me to a low degree because I don't care about the girl drama. Okay, I don't care about this Kill Bill fight scene activity going on. But all of us have commented on this in a varying degree, but only Candace is at the top of the top because she is a star. You can't stop her. Tim Pool, shout out to you, bro. You're a good dude. Thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. Love to come back, but you got to stop because all of what's happening right now is a bunch of drama, fighting, and nothing to actually show for it that's of any use, of any value. And if it's me, anything that I do, if I'm pouring into it, I want to be able to see a return. I want to be able to see something grow. It's like growing anything in the ground, growing a tree, shrubs, flowers, grass. When you make all the preparations, when you do everything right for the purpose of this particular organism growing and it does not grow, what's going on? Something's wrong. I got to try to change it or abandon it. I'm not just doubling down on the thing that doesn't work anymore. But with her, everything's just working. Throughout this entire time I've known her, from 2018 when I first met her, unstoppable. And before then as well, 2015, 2016, when she first came out, when she was Red Pill Black. Remember those days? Red Pill Black? Then it became Candace Owens. And to the moon ever since. To the moon ever since. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Mauricio says, you the rock holding it down for black conservatives now. I don't trust nobody else. Thank you, Mauricio. I appreciate it. And again, I have nothing against Candace. I still support her. But like I said, when you see your best friend get shot and killed on camera, it might do something to you. So I have empathy for her. It's what I've been saying from the very beginning. And one thing about me, I'm pretty consistent. I don't change my opinion for no reason. And if I do change, I'm going to tell you why and my reasoning why it may make sense. But normally I'm pretty much just even. I say the same things all the time. I never change. And then I get criticism sometimes. But when I'm proven to be correct, when I'm vindicated, everybody is like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine. Look, I've been getting apology phone calls my whole life. Since I've been little, since I've been a young dude. It's been the same thing. People get mad at something I say because I'm too early, and then later they come back and apologize. I done told y'all about when I was coming out as conservative, like in my late 20s, early 30s. Friends of mine from many years ago in Virginia turning their back on me. Me and my dad almost got into a fist fight over it. But after they realized that a lot of what I said is true, that I was not telling a lie, and they realized the totality of my character, oh man, I'm so sorry. It's fine. It is totally fine. I expect it at this point. So don't even worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, but shout out to her. Shimmy Henna says, Candace is a faithful friend. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said from the beginning is, if, God forbid, one of us was to be brutally done away with like Charlie was, you would want someone like that to be your advocate. Whether right or wrong or whatever, you want someone like that to advocate for you. In my humble opinion, I would want someone to be in my corner like that. And again, people say that this is just a money-making scheme. Candace been rich. Candace, she don't got to do nothing. Her husband is like some type of lord. Like, she don't got to do nothing. Candace been rich. And even before the white dude came in her life, okay, George, her husband, even before he came in her life, she been rich. She been had money. Whatever she's going to do, she was going to succeed, period. Some of us are just like that. Charlie was like that. It didn't matter what Charlie did. Charlie could have been an NFL quarterback. Charlie could have been anything he wanted to be. Some of us are just like that. Like I said about Charlie, he could have been the president because he was so impressive overall. Just talking to him, being in his presence, knowing him, to know him is love him. That's a classic thing. To know him is to love him. Same with Candace. Some of us are just elite people and you can't stop it. Very simple. All right. But shout out to you guys. Somebody says Morgan Fairchild would be a good replacement. Who is that? Morgan Fairchild? Let me look him up. Is this a woman? Is it a man? If it's a man already, that's going to be okay. Maybe you guys are just playing. A soap what are we talking about here? I don't get it. A soap opera actress, 75 years old. Who's she gonna replace? Susie Wiles in the White House? I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing the context there. So if that's the case, I apologize. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. We got a whole lot going on though. Rob Reiner. Hey, RIP to Rob Reiner. But see, his son is emblematic of a lot of young white guys, especially in this country. And I think it's like, I don't even know what to say, because when you grow up and you don't have any adversity, sometimes you create adversity and you go seek it out in a place like Los Angeles. And if you want adversity, drama, strife, hardship, you can find it in Los Angeles. You can find it in them drugs. And one of the main things with him, Nick Reiner, and all the other young white male mass shooters, the number one thing in common is not their race. Aside from their race, it's the drugs. All of them have some kind of issue with drugs and or a troubled childhood, which often goes hand in hand with drugs. Let's say your son is exhibiting strange behavior and you have no clue how to correct it. What happens is you might put him on drugs. That will just start the beginning of a spiral. If you don't put him on drugs and he wants to go hang out with some seedy people, he wants to go to LA parties and do all this, they're going to find the drugs. Did you see where Michael Jackson's daughter said that her septum is perforated because of the consistent drug use? Like, the septum is gone. She cannot have the traditional septum ring because it ain't no septum to put it on. A hole in her nose from all the drug use. Now, Michael, Wacko Jacko, whatever, I don't think he was that crazy to put his kids on cocaine. I think they found that for themselves. You're in a place like LA, the belly of the beast, you can find whatever you want. And people are talking about, oh, well, Rob Reiner was wrong because his son was homeless. He didn't have his back. Listen, If you've ever dealt with a drug addict, you cannot enable them to continue using their drugs, because here's what could happen. Rob Reiner's son, Nick, could be in the house smoking crack. Okay, you cannot smoke crack in here. You cannot smoke crack at all. And if you don't want to abide by those rules, you got to leave. Rather than accepting rehab, rather than accepting the conditions that Rob Reiner gave him, he wants to go outside and smoke crack. What are you going to do to stop that? What can you do? Your son's 17, 18 years old. What you going to do? You going to call the police on an adult? Nah, he going to go out there and do what he want to do. And in the process of doing that, he was all over the country. He was in Texas. He was everywhere, being homeless, smoking drugs, smoking crack probably, and some more stuff. When you already got a troubled childhood, when you already got mental health issues, and you're on drugs, that's a dangerous combination. Haven't we seen this before? We've seen this in, what was it? Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee movie. Gator, when Gator came back to the house and his dad shot him. If his dad didn't shoot him, Gator might have shot the dad or the mom for some money to get some drugs. Because remember, Gator came to the house talking about, where's the money? I want $20. He's violent. He's violent, out of control. Rather than let Gator kill them, meaning his parents, his father shot him right in front of the mom. The mom crying, the father deadpan, not a tear, not nothing. You come to my house and you want to do this to me? Boom. So sometimes, hey man, tough love is the only kind of love you can do. But there you go, the drugs. In both cases, Gator was a dope fiend, played by Samuel L. Jackson, by the way. And Nick, same thing, a dope fiend, played by himself. And unfortunately, since there was no attempt to stop this potentially with a weapon of Rob Reiner's own or Michelle, now they're gone. It's crazy. Jungle Fever, thank you. Jungle Fever, thank you, H-Man. Thank you. Yep. If you guys have not seen that, you got to check it out. Hold on. Can I play that right quick since we are talking about it before I get to anything else? Just right quick. When Gator at my mama house. Welcome to Zombieland. Hold on. So this is Gator, played by Samuel L. Jackson, going to his parents' house trying to find money for drugs. And by the way, his crackhead girlfriend was played by Halle Berry. If you've not seen this movie before, you got to go check it out. To the young folks, watch Jungle Fever, Spike Lee movie.
What is all this shit? Where's the money?
Were they sleeping, golfing guns? Terrible.
Why you tripping like this? Why don't you just give me the money?
I told you, honey, you won't find no money in that pocketbook. I haven't got any money. Not the kind of money you looking for.
$20? Is that all the money you got? Oh my.
So here come the dad. The dad's like, nah, we're not going to do this.
God. $20 ain't shit.
For the love of sweet Jesus, please go.
Boy, didn't I tell you never set foot in my house again?
Where's the money? Why you hiding?
Let him
Have
go.
you lost your natural mind as well as your soul? Didn't I tell you never to darken my door again?
And the thing about it is, with Nick, they allow him back in the house. That was a no-no right there, because he got them while they were sleeping, according to what somebody said. If he was not allowed in the house, then he couldn't have done what he did. You see?
Gator's leaving. He's got
I
his
ain't
money.
going nowhere.
All right. I'll put you out.
See, Mama, if you gave me the money, I'd been gone before he came back. Now give me some money.
God knows, Gator. If I had any money, I'd give it to you.
You got money in this house, Mama. Give it to
In this
me.
house, you want it. Take it.
Yep, somebody said Marvin Gaye dad too. Yep, Marvin Gaye's dad, same thing.
You got more money than $20?
Look here. You see this? You can sell it. You can get money.
I don't want that shit. I want some money.
My own flesh and blood, my firstborn son, and I love you. But you're evil and you're better off dead.
All right. Leave.
Yes, Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis. Yes.
Take it. Sell it.
Devil's work is never done. The devil is always busy.
Mama, check out this new step.
They go do the Gator
I
dance.
made this one up just for you.
I paid a lot of money for these, honey. Take them. Take it. Sell it. Take this. Sell it for me. For God's sake, please go.
I'll pray for you, my son. Father, I stretch my hands to thee.
There you go. There you go. Hey, deadpan. The mama in the background crying. He don't got no expression, no nothing. Deadpan. That's how it is, though. I mean, now, not all dads are going to do that to their kids, to their son. It might be the only son, the firstborn child. But what do you do when you are faced with someone crazy, high on drugs, who may hurt you? It's rough, man. It's rough. So, again, RIP to Rob and Michelle Reiner. And their son, Nick, is now about to go get the ultimate. He about to get the ultimate. You done killed 2 people, and it's your own parents. But it was a long time coming. Since he was a teenager, there's been issues. And the drugs, that's the key element here. Some say, what's the point of fighting the war on drugs? So many lives have been ruined in this country. So much of our economy is spent. So much of our economy is not even here because of the drugs. That's the truth. So yeah, again, that movie, Jungle Fever. And that scene, if you want to see it in full, you can look up the gator scene. Gator like alligator, gator. So yeah, and matter of fact, if you've not seen that, you got to check it out just for cultural reference. All right, but hey, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Before we get to anything, Dan Bongino, the Trump speech at 9 p.m., let's talk about the sponsor. Shout out to you guys, of course, for being the very first sponsor of the show. Y'all know I could not do this show without you. Thank you to PatriotPost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. That link will always be in the box, or visit PatriotPost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please find me on Cameo if you want a special greeting for the holidays for a friend, family, loved one, whoever. As long as it ain't nothing crazy or freaky, I'm going to do it. It's cool. Check out the link in the description, or just go to Cameo and search me, Anthony Brian Logan, ABL. I'll pop up. You can send your request. Also, please go to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, cities, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and for each long-form video that I produce, I will write an article, and in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, political, agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there in the description, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you ever think you're speaking to me or not, if you don't send me email at contact@anthonyblogan.com, which is on the contact page, so you don't have to remember. If you don't email me there and I don't respond using that email, it's not me. Please don't get scammed. I'm never going to ask you for Apple iTunes gift cards or some kind of crazy currency that is not US dollar. I'm never going to ask you for anything like that. I'm never going to give you Bitcoin, foreign exchange advice. Please don't fall for the scams, because every now and then, although I always do this on my stream, some of y'all send me email. Oh, man, I thought I could trust you, man. You let me down. I'll let who down? You didn't send me no money. It wasn't ABL. The dude might have had the initials ABL. Adewale Balogun Lotana. That's who you talk to. It was not Anthony Brian Logan. So please, please, please don't be scammed. Okay, I know I got some of them features that the West Africans got, and it's okay because that's my cousins, but they're not me. They might even get you on a little phone call. Now, a dead giveaway would be some ramshackle environment in the background, flip-flops for no reason, the thong flip-flops, not even not Nike slides, old school flip-flops, That'll give you a clue. And the accent, he's not going to be able to do the accent. He will sound like an African dude doing an American accent. It's not going to be authentic. He's going to sound just like this. He's going to try to get all your money and take it for himself. He's not going to be a legit guy. He's going to be a bad guy. So do not give your money to him. And if it's not out of Wale Balogumotana, it's going to be a dude over in India doing all this jazz, okay? Or it's going to be Boris and Natasha. If he dies, he dies. Some dude over in the Donbass region of Ukraine or in Moldova or in a hostel somewhere with no smile on their face. It's going to be 0 degrees for no reason. Please, please, please don't give these people your money. Anyway, now, let's get straight to it, shall we? Dan, our guy, Dan Bongino. Well, maybe not all of your guy, because I don't want to make no assumptions. Some of y'all might not necessarily be the biggest Dan Bongino fan in the world. But Dan Bongino, as I said, back in June of this year or July, whenever he had his little temper tantrum with Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi, I said back then that he should go ahead and resign. If you don't like the way things are going, if you think things could be done better, okay, well, go ahead and go about your business. Go ahead and resign. It's fine. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get a new job and like it. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're not going to quit. And it's okay. So look, here's his statement. I will be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, Attorney General Pam Bondi, who he cussed out, and Director Kash Patel for the opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve you. God bless America and all those who defend her. America emoji, okay? So there's a statement from Dan Bongino, the Deputy FBI Director. Now, here's my question to you guys. Here's my question. Do you think that Dan Bongino was cut out for the job? Did you think that he would remain on the job after the incident this summer with Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi? I think it was only a matter of time. It was weird to me. I was like, oh, you still on the job? Like when I saw him after that, still talking, I'm like, okay, you still trying to make it work. But I knew in my heart of hearts that he was not going to last very long, because these jobs, these government jobs, it's not for the weak. You know why DC is full of LGBT people? It's because they don't have families, responsibilities, or anything else beyond themselves. So they can pour their all into their work. They can work all day, all night. It's fine. It don't even matter. And guess what? When they got downtime, they just, hang out with each other. It's one big group, one big family. And if you're a regular guy, a family guy with a wife and a kid or kids, you're not even really, this is something that is not in your wheelhouse to do. It's not in your wheelhouse. It's not what you are best suited for. In my humble opinion, some guys are different. Some guys are able to get beyond it, but Dan Bongino is not one of those guys. So he will be done at the FBI in January. He did have cancer at one point. Is he still have? I think he's in remission now, right? I think it's in remission. And I hope he stays healthy. That's something else, though. It's like, okay, if you're sick, like actually sick, you got an issue, then maybe being in the federal government with a high-stress job is not the best place for you to be, okay? Maybe that's the actual thing here. Maybe that's the thing here. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But again, Dan Bongino will be done in January. And yes, the speech for Trump tonight, 9 p.m., we'll get to that once it starts. We still got about 15 more minutes. All right, now, this is Trump being asked about Dan Bongino's resignation from today. All right, let's watch. And I think what Trump said here is the correct thing to assume. Let's watch.
Oh, Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. Yeah, I do.
So, yeah, I think he's right. I think Dan, hey, good man, great man. I like Dan Bongino as a person, but for this job, he was not cut out for it. And I think Trump said it right. He wants to go back to the show. Yeah, because life was much simpler. Life was better. You could just do your show from your house. And once you're done with your show, you come outside and your wife is right there. Your kids are right there. You live in a regular life kind of. But you were taken away from that and sent to DC where you work 24/7. You're not going to like it. Your lifestyle is different. Now, some are going to say it's about Epstein files. I think that was just an excuse for him to leave. Totally honest with you. You know, all of that whole song and dance, snapping on Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi, that was an excuse because he realized in a very short period of time, this job was not for him and he was sick. So if you ask me, it makes sense for someone who had cancer to do a less stressful job rather than the more stressful job, because part of your remission should be lifestyle changes, such as not putting so much stress on your body, because stress can manifest as illness. So there go Trump talking about what happened. Now, this is Dan from earlier this year, right when the whole thing happened with him having the flip out and everything on Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles. Okay. Again, this is from earlier this year. This is not from today. Earlier this year.
I gave up everything for this. I mean, you know, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment, but I stare at these four walls all day in DC, you know, by myself, divorced from my wife, not divorced, but I mean, separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, you know, we love each other and it's hard to be apart.
But you're doing some great work. You're straightening out the FBI, you're moving buildings. There's a lot of change.
I got one more thing.
So there you go. I mean, some guys ain't built for it. You know what? It kind of reminds me of the whole thing about, my wife. It kind of reminds me of the football coach, Michigan, Sharon Moore, I believe his name is. Okay, you got this really high stakes job. You put a lot of hours in, but you got to have your wife right by your side, like your mom or something like this, right? All the time. So when his wife is not there, you got the work wife, your side chick. And you done lost everything that you have worked for because you cannot let go of that mommy attachment. You soft. And it's okay. Look, it's okay to be soft. But everybody can't be soft. And everyone can't be soft in these kind of roles. Simple. But let's keep going here before we get to Trump's speech. Now, this is Tucker Carlson with Judge Andrew Napolitano predicting that there's going to be a war announcement tonight. Now, what do y'all think will be the announcement? Will it be war or something else? Y'all let me know. Onyx Solo says, ABL, stop. Dude put his body on the line protecting presidents. And we thank him for that. But obviously, that was the job he was able to do. He could do that job. But doing this job, he's not able to do it. And he said it right there. Oh, my wife. He was not cut out for this. Because when you are in Secret Service, or in his case, I don't know about everybody, but he probably had shifts. You work a shift and come home to wife and kids. But now ain't no shifts. You there all the time, all day, every day. It's different. It's not about being soft as far as being the big tough guy. It's about your mental, because some of the biggest, toughest guys are the weakest mentally. But I don't want to go down that road. Let's keep on going here. What will Trump say tonight during his speech? Here's Tucker's prediction.
Is Trump going to start a war in Venezuela?
I don't know. I don't know when this program airs, the one that we're on right now. This thing's maybe live.
We're live now, and then
okay.
It'll be posted immediately. So now,
my sense is I don't know the answer. I've certainly been on the phone a lot about it. I have no power. I'm a podcaster, but I'm very interested. And so here's what I know so far, which is that members of Congress were briefed yesterday that a war is coming, and it'll be announced in the address to the nation tonight at 9:00 by the president. Who knows, by the way, if that will actually happen? I don't know. And I never want to overstate what I know, which is pretty limited in general.
All right, we'll see. So do you guys think Tucker is correct or incorrect? What do y'all, what's your opinion? And it's funny because guys like this, sometimes when they make these announcements or these predictions, I got a source. Okay, who the source? I ain't gonna tell you. All right. And then if it doesn't come true, they could just say, well, my source was wrong. I had bad information. Maybe He could just say it was not my fault. I was reporting what I was told. I wasn't the one that was in the room. It was somebody else, and they told me something wrong. And if they are correct, then they could say my sources were right. You see how that works? But we'll see how the whole thing goes tonight. Hopefully that's not going to be what happens as far as a war announcement, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I mean, Venezuela kind of been on the chopping block for a while. The border tax, that's kind of a precursor to it. And then the whole thing with declaring fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. Okay.
Today,
we got to go get the WMDs, the real WMDs in Venezuela. Matter of fact, speaking about the fentanyl being a WMD, let's watch.
Today, I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Today I'm taking...
All right, there we go. So why do you guys think that he did this? Is there a purpose beyond just something simple as it is a WMD in many respects because of the damage it's doing to Americans? Or is it a precursor to war? Is it a reason? Hey, you know what? They got the fentanyl. They're the ones bringing it over here. We've been bombing the boats with the fentanyl on it or the cocaine or whatever it is. We're bombing the boats. We're trying to keep drugs out of the country. And if your country is importing fentanyl to us, then we got a problem. Now, would that extend to places like China where they send their precursors to fentanyl over here and the cartels just finish the product and then give it to us? I'm trying to figure out how that really works. So having that as a precursor to war would not make sense if you're not going to attack all those involved. You want to attack Venezuela for the fentanyl. Meanwhile, you're leaving out the cartels and Chinese Communist Party. That makes no sense. But again, we're going to see what happens in the future, I suppose. And also tonight, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. Okay, oil. Well, oil, of course. Yeah. But again, remember, the excuse for Iraq was WMDs. But really, what was it? It was the oil, right? So we'll see how that whole thing goes. We shall see. All right. Now, speaking about Trump, you're speaking about the Muslim situation, and the Muslim thing is a problem. We'll get to that. We'll get to the whole Muslim thing a little bit later after he does his speech. But the Muslim thing is a thing. And it's not, I don't want to be a racist person or Islamophobic or whatever. It's not even about that. It's just a matter of fact. It's just a matter of fact. You can have a lot of peaceful Muslims. They're going to mind their business. Okay. Allahu Akbar, all that. Sometimes they don't really mean a death chant, a battle cry. Allahu Akbar. Sometimes Allahu Akbar is not a death or battle cry. But the fact that we associate Allahu Akbar with a battle cry, with a death cry, with violence and terrorism lets you know there's an issue with Islam and the terror attacks all over the world. It don't matter. You could be in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, U.S., Australia, Bondi Beach. You could be over in Bangladesh, Myanmar with the Rohingya. You could be China, anywhere. It's the same exact thing. And everyone who has an issue with Islam around the world says the same thing. It's the terror attacks and the violence. The women and they put the women in the trash bags. It's a different story. The trash bag women ain't really the problem. The issue is the violence. But let's just play this. Then we're going to get to the actual speech because we got about 4 more minutes here.
Love and prayers to our entire nation, to the people of Australia, and especially all those affected by the horrific and anti-Semitic terrorist attack. And that's exactly what it is, anti-Semitic. That took place on a Hanukkah celebration in Sydney. What a terrible, terrible thing. We don't learn. We're joined in mourning all of those who were killed, and we're praying for the swift recovery of the wounded. Some are very horrifically wounded, as you probably know. All nations must stand together against the evil forces of radical Islamic terrorism, and we're doing that. Joining us tonight, our Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is doing a fantastic job. Representatives Paul Gosar, David Kutzoff, Claudia Tenney, Ronnie Jackson, he was my White House doctor.
All right, well, there you go. That's a little bit about that. That's a little bit about that. But again, we're going to get to the speech here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and load this up. And then as soon as it pops up that we're ready, we'll go ahead. You see, I got it right here in the back. 9 p.m. Eastern, we're at about 8:57. So we got a little bit of time remaining. But what will be the address tonight? Will it be the drugs? Will it be war? Will it be? I think it might be a combination of everything. I don't really think it's going to be about the war right now because I'm not really feeling. I don't feel like it'll be that. I think it'll be about the marijuana. And before we begin, let's go ahead and play that because this is him reclassifying marijuana. And after we play this, I want to get you guys' opinion. Is it a good idea to reclassify marijuana as a lesser category, to not put it up so high? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Let's watch.
To reclassify marijuana under the control.
We are considering that, yeah.
Okay. Are you planning?
Because a lot of people want to see it, the reclassification, because it leads to tremendous amounts of research that can't be done unless you reclassify. So we are looking at that very strongly.
Mr. President.
Okay.
So what's your opinion about reclassifying marijuana? Is that a good thing, bad thing? Do you think that it'd be a way for Big Pharma to take over like it did with alcohol, tobacco? What is going to be the result of that if it's done? Y'all let me know. Personally, I think that weed should still be in that taboo space. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Weed should be in the taboo space where it's not quite legal, but not quite illegal. Like you could do some little things. And really, if I had it my way, I would compromise. I would say, okay, we can give y'all regular weed back. Okay. And that's okay. We're not going to really, it's okay. But when you want to have all these crazy super duper strains, all kind of extra stuff going on with it, you got a little bit of this chemical and that chemical in it. I think if you're going to have regulated weed, legal weed, it should be a thing that is checked for quality control to reduce the poisonous effects of additives in your substance. Because there's so much stuff out there, this gas station stuff. I mean, so many other just kind of weird drugs out there that say they got THC, say they got hemp or whatever, and it's just gas station garbage. And you take some of that, you be a whole dope fiend. You be addicted for real, worse than anything else you ever had because you got these chemicals that are meant to get you hooked on it. Things that you never even experienced before. So I think if they're going to reclassify it, they got to clean all that stuff up, all that gas station poison up. People talking about something, oh, well, put whatever you want into your body. Why would we allow these things to be sold to people when they think it's for recreation, when they think it's for having a good time? Really it's just poison. And if it's going to be poison, let's label it. You can go to Home Depot and buy rat poison, but it's going to say on there, do not consume this, do not eat this, do not drink this. Same thing for the stuff that's in the actual gas station. It's not going to say on the package, don't eat this. It's going to say, consume once daily. And that's not going to be a good thing for the American people. All right, but shout out to you guys. Hold on. Mike A says, I say legalized, so it's regulated without fentanyl. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But I think there should still be some restrictions. Yeah, just like with alcohol, there's restrictions. You can't buy alcohol on Sundays in some places. You can't buy it past a certain time of the night. In Virginia, we don't have liquor stores that are independently owned, I believe. Maybe they changed it. Okay, hold on.
Good evening, America. 11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington than any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a landslide, winning the popular vote and all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border? He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts. Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22% and in many states 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they are all coming down and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year. The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling rapidly. And it's not done yet, but boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300. And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that. The wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more people working today than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs, wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs. My favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible. There has never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail. Totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5 months. Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed in Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward. And I used the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called Most Favored Nation. And no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, TrumpRx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people. That's you. So they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost. It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding those increases, and it's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again, the worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see. The numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot, and mortgage payments will be coming down even further. Early the new year, and you will see this, in the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
All right, there we go. That's the speech. Tucker, what happened to the whole, we're going to announce the Venezuela war? I knew he wasn't going to do that. Hey, man, I could have just not played that for real, for real. Shout out to Trump, but, I mean, I could have just used 20 minutes to do my regular show. Like, why I need to play that? All you said was the checks going out to the service members. Okay, cool. You could have put that out in the tweet. But I appreciate that, you know what I mean? Just to be transparent with the people, just let everybody know what's going on. I appreciate that because, you know, Biden would not do anything like that. Biden would be pretty much at the house, eating ice cream, minding his business, not saying nothing. So, yeah. But I knew it wasn't going to be no, we're about to go to Venezuela and we're going to drop a nuke on Caracas. I knew it wasn't going to be that. So, it's like, what's the purpose? and really watching that for real. But I like the whole 1776 checks to service members. If you're just now coming in, and again, nothing against Trump. I'm just saying. I'm just being practical. We just watched a speech from Trump, live speech, and my takeaway was he's just saying things are going up in the right direction. We're getting monies from the tariffs. We got the World Cup and everything else. We're on the right track. And also, an actionable thing is, or actionable things are, the checks for 1776, $1,776 going to service members for Christmas. And the checks are already on the way. All right. So if you're asking, OCL, what'd you miss? That's it. I give it to you right there. Again, the main thing is that he said to service members, I suppose active, you're going to get a check for $1,776. So I got excited right there. Okay. A 1776 mention, I feel validated per usual. So yeah, that's pretty much all that there is to it. Tucker. Inside sources tell me he's going to talk about Venezuela, and there's going to be all these podcasters. Listen, you know what? I always try to double, quadruple, or triple check whatever I say because I don't want to get on the internet and just say random stuff and it don't be true. I don't want you guys to look at me as just an entertainer and not a guy that has his facts together. And that's why I always say, hey, you know what? Don't even believe me. I'm going to make sure that I say the right thing before I say it. If it's just my opinion, I'll say that. But if it's a fact, I'm going to have a source. I'm going to be able to verify. A lot of my day is spent reading. Okay, I see certain stories come across my desk. I'm like, you know what? I don't want that one because that might not necessarily be true. I'm kind of doubting the validity of that one. I can't really prove that. I do that all day long, every day, 7 days a week. That's what I do. But some of these guys will just say anything. Just say they'll say anything to get the clicks and the views. And then when they're proven to be wrong, it's like, oh, well, whatever. I'm going to just say something else. That's pretty much how it goes. They're going to say that until they can't say it no more. That's kind of how they are because they feel like people are going to be watching them anyway. So it don't matter if they say something that's wrong, something that's straight up a lie or anything like that. Okay. Justin says, so you don't think we're overthrowing a government for oil? Have we announced a war in Venezuela? Have we done that yet? I'm trying to understand what's going on. Like, you can ask that question if we announce a war in Venezuela or if we invade Venezuela. If you see bombs over Caracas, okay, we could talk about that then. But until then, what are we talking about? I don't understand. I don't really get it. And there go what I'm saying right there. Tucker said that sources tell him that he may talk about the Venezuela situation. He may announce Venezuela war, and he did not do it. And I just got done saying, hey, you know what? These influencers say whatever, but someone will still defend what Tucker said. And that goes my point. It don't matter that they tell a lie, because if you believe Tucker, you're going to believe Tucker regardless of what. Tucker could say the moon is made of cheese. You're going to believe it because you believe Tucker, rather than doing your own research for yourself. So that's pretty much what it is. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Faye says all conservatives need to just turn Tucker off. I have not listened to him in months. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a Venezuela war declaration. All he did was say that we got a good economy and we getting the World Cup and we getting all the tariff money and we're giving out checks to service members. Nothing there was about any kind of conflict, war, battle, skirmish, or anything of the sort. Nothing of the sort was in that speech. But y'all knew that already, though. Y'all didn't expect Tucker to be right, did you? Anyway, I'm getting triggered. Dangers says, I feel Denzel Washington said it best. Not about accuracy for some news people. It's just who's first. There you go. Right on. Right on. Polly says, I don't listen or follow influencers. I like ABL because he's funny and interesting. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. But if you're going to follow me for those reasons, I still want you to get factual information. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Again, shout out to Trump. If you just missed that speech, I covered it live. You could rewind that if you want to watch it. It'd be on, I believe I saw that on Associated Press's YouTube page, but it'll probably be on the White House YouTube page as well if you want to go check it out. It was only about 15, 20 minutes, not a very long speech, just kind of like a State of the Union type, a quick little hit. Like, hey, here's what's going on. We getting money and that's it. All right. So there we go. Let's talk about Fani. Speaking about Trump and things of this nature. Remember Fani Willis, the woman who tried to get Trump locked up in Fulton County, Georgia, because of an attempt to steal the election, because of an attempt to get more votes and all kind of stuff. Obviously, the case was bogus from the beginning. And here is Fani in front of the Georgia Senate being asked questions about giving 600,000 U.S. American cold hard cash dollars to Nathan Wade, a special prosecutor that she brought on. She gave him that much money and the case never even started. 600,000. Now, the nearest person to him as far as money given to them by Fani in this case made 100,000. And the third nearest got pretty much the same amount. I think one person got 105. The other one got 95. So how do you go from 95,000, 105,000 to 600,000? It's because that's her man. It's because he, in essence, was her sugar baby. And of course, he was married the whole time with grown kids, have been married for 26 years. But it sounds like the temptation of getting all that money was too much to bear. His wife of 26 years and the grown kids and the house put together, that don't mean nothing. Hey, you know what? I want to level up. I want more. So I'm going to sneak out of my house built on my wife for the past quarter century and go over there to get that money on. But anyway, let's watch some of this, shall we? Again, this is Fani Willis being grilled by the Georgia Senate.
I don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I only allowed Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense, and you can use all this in your campaign ad, you attacked Fani Willis. What have you done, sir? Nothing.
So I'm going to refer you to the screen. I know you said you don't approve.
I don't look at this. I've never
bills.
seen it, so I can't talk to you about documents I don't approve and don't review. Can't talk to you about it.
Who does?
So the documents are of monies spent inappropriately, because let's be clear, this is all about her spending money inappropriately, money that shouldn't be spent like that, because she was giving it to her boyfriend. And of course, just like Ilhan Omar being married to her campaign finance manager, when he gets the money, it goes right back to her. Now, the difference is that Ilhan Omar was actually married to the guy, so it's okay. It's a marital asset. If money from Ilhan Omar's campaign goes to Tim Mynette's consulting company, that's considered to be legal, although you are not following the spirit of the law, the whole campaign finance law, meaning you can't just get your own money and spend it on whatever you want. You are violating that law by going around it, using the campaign manager to be your husband, so you're able to get it back to you legally. What Fani did was take money that shouldn't have been given to Nathan anyway, COVID money, all kind of stuff. She gave it to him, and they were seen all over Atlanta, all in Capitol Grill, all in Houston's. Okay, then they were going to probably somewhere out Brazelton at the winery out there. Then they're traveling, going to California, going to New York, all kind of stuff. Now, how are they doing all these trips, all these dinners, all this stuff with their salaries or with his salary. He was not some kind of big wig type guy making a bunch of money. They took the money from this case, not being presented with it, and she wants to say, oh, well, I got called the N-word. The N-word? What does being called the N-word have to do with you stealing money? I'm just trying to figure it out. Jamaica, it went to Jamaica, all of that. Crab legs, that's funny. But yeah, shout out to Fonny. Hey man, it's time to go. Now,
okay.
Jasmine Crockett. Okay, this is very funny. This is hilarious. I don't know if it's an old video or what, but you know how some of them say, you know a MAGA woman when you see it. If it is easy to spot a MAGA woman, what are the identifiers of a liberal woman? Let's watch.
Okay, a lot of the MAGA women receive gender-affirming care, such as lip fillers, breast augmentation, etc. Why do you think they are so against gender-affirming care for trans people?
You know you want to say it.
Okay, so I have this thing where, like, you know a MAGA woman when you see one.
1000%.
They all have a look, right?
Back,
but they lips be up to anyway. That's a whole other issue. But yeah, they don't even know because when that was brought up on the House floor, because there was a discussion about this on the House floor. They were like, how dare you say we use, and it's like, no, that's exactly what y'all do. Y'all just didn't realize that that's what it is. But okay.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of.
Okay, there's a lot there. First of all, it's not gender affirming care when you're already that gender. Okay, if you're a woman and you do things to enhance your beauty, that's not the same thing as a transformer getting breast implants. Because if a woman gets breast implants, it makes sense. She's already a woman. Women have breasts, so it just makes sense. But if a man gets breasts, that's unnatural. You're trying to appear to be a thing that you're not. Furthermore, if you say that the so-called MAGA women have a look, what look does the liberal woman have? Hey, you want to take a look? Hey, there you go right there. Hey, you cannot make this stuff up. Look at this big 6'8" looking European basketball player looking Nikola Jokic looking dude with this big crazy wig on. Okay. This guy done had gender affirming care, gender affirming surgery. Okay. Because obviously as a man, biologically, you don't look like that out the womb. Imagine somebody holding their baby boy in their arms. Okay, when you grow up, you're going to be looking like a whole alien with a big, crazy pink lace front on. A Fortnite character at best. A Fortnite character at best. Fortnite from the top up. RuPaul Drag Race from the top down. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, so, hey. And you know what I see right here? I see a regular woman and Jasmine Crockett, okay? That's an actual woman. If she was to get any kind of augmentation to herself that's feminine, okay, this is a woman here. But this man right here, that's the gender affirming stuff. That's when you try to make yourself appear to be something that you're not. But anyway, yeah, shout out to them. Let's keep moving here. You say the PE teacher, pretty much, you know, that's kind of what's going on with him. All right, so this clip is being floated around. This clip is floating around, and the caption often says, Ilhan Omar says she should not marry her brother. I'm not quite sure I heard that in this clip. All right, you ready? Let's check it out. Hold on, Michael says, Alien, Fortnite, Slade. Y'all are funny. Anyway, Ilhan Omar, did you marry your brother or no? Let's watch.
Everybody knows I came to the United States at the age of 12, gained my citizenship at the age of 17, and I am an elected representative in the House of Congress, and so the House of Representatives in Congress. And so for me, you know, I look at it as a display of his ignorance, and I see it as a national embarrassment that he continues to say those kind of things, even though he does know what the truth is. Everybody knows.
Okay, so this is Ilhan Omar responding to Trump because Trump recently said that she married her brother and that was how she became a citizen of the USA. Now, she's responding to that allegation specifically about marrying the brother to become a citizen. Now, What I think happened is she was a citizen and married the brother, so he'd be able to come from UK. Because remember, Ilhan Omar got saved by, I believe, Lutherans, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But she was saved by Christians in the West. And half of her family were rescued from the camp they were in, refugee camp, rescued from there, and then they were brought to the USA. The other half of the family was sent to UK. Now, the brother, that dude was in UK. She gets married to him. He comes to the USA and goes to school in North Dakota. I think that's what happened. It wasn't about her becoming a citizen. It was about him becoming a citizen, or about him being able to come over here and become educated. Does that make any sense? But she won't address that. She'll address what Trump said, but not the entire thing. Because if you address the entire thing, then you got to admit you married your brother. Not because you're trying to be, it wasn't romantic, obviously. It was for the purpose of fraud, which is very popular, unfortunately, among the Somali community in the USA. It is what it is. It is what it is. And not just here in America, but also in Sweden. It do the same thing in Sweden. Many years ago, I spoke about them over in Sweden. Malmö, all that kind of stuff, where they do some terror attacks, because also about the Somalis, they're Muslim. Don't forget about that part. Don't forget about that part, because you're going to get people that's just normies, minding their business, doing their thing, but you're also going to get some terror attacks. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I want people like that in the country. I don't think I want them in the country. And as a matter of fact, hold on. I got a video. I'm kind of going ahead a little bit, but matter of fact, since I got like limited time, I'm gonna go ahead and show that because we got a Somali dude saying exactly what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And again, I'm not picking on the Somalis. I promise I'm not. But it's an issue. It's definitely a problem. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. So this guy says, thank you, white people, for working so hard, 50 hours a week, all day long, so I can stay home and do nothing. Thank you, white people. Let's watch.
You work all fucking day, you don't got shit. Thank you for working so hard so I can be home all day. Free. I can use my EBT. Go to work for me, white boy, white girl. Yeah. Go to work for me, you fucking white animals. Fucking work for me. Yeah, you fucking work for me. And the US government they work for me. All of you work for me. Now go to work. Pay them taxes. Take care of me and my people. All right? This is my land. I control this place. This is my reality. You all gonna be enchained. I'm gonna lock all you guys up if you don't pay your taxes. You better fucking pay your taxes.
Okay, so there we go. Now, first of all, can I say something right quick? Again, shout out to the Somalis. Okay, but we are not them. The Black Americans are not Somalis, because Black Americans are West African with European admixture and a little bit of Native. That's who we are for the most part. If you look at any Black Americans' DNA, it's going to be pretty much that. Ain't going to be no Somali in there. I don't care how much I put into my hair. It ain't going to do this. This whole frizzy, curly, looking like Indian or something like that. We don't have that. We got this. Okay, we got this. We don't have that. And our forehead, look at the forehead. The forehead is about a whole football field. We don't got that. Our forehead is not as big. We don't got this curly hair. We're not them. Number one. Number two, I thought that the migrants were coming here to work. That's what I was told. ABL, you're so racist. You're so hateful. They do auto jobs that Americans don't want to do. Oh, okay. So why is he saying he does nothing all day and then the white folks got to work for him? And he's ignorant, of course, retarded. It's not just the white man working. It is Americans working. Black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. legal Somalis who came here the right way, yeah, they work. You are the same kind of person back in Somalia that has Somalia looking the way it looks. If you got an entire nation full of people that don't want to do anything, that don't want to work, that don't want to contribute, that just want to lay around and mooch and steal and rob, how are you going to have a society that's productive? Furthermore, if they come here, what are they going to do? What will they do aside from being an expense and a burden and eventually a criminal threat? Because idle hands are a devil's workshop. A bunch of young men, nothing to do, and they Muslim. That's a terror attack waiting to happen. So nah, man, listen. You, sir, and your people that's here illegally, not contributing, you could go back. Hey, it's time to go back. And if you're here legally and we can't deport you, how about we cut the welfare benefits off? How about we cut the EBT off? No more mooching, no more freeloading. And I don't care if you were Somali, if you were white, black, I don't care what. This mentality is a cancer in our country, period. Oh boy, hey, bro, you got to get up out of here, bro. You have to get up out of here immediately. All right. There's a lot I want to cover. Hold on. Now, this scene right here is Melbourne, Australia. Now, I know the attack happened in Sydney, but this is in Melbourne. And I suppose it's probably not that much better in Sydney. Now, listen, some are going to say, well, you're a bigot, ABL. You hate Muslims. Nah, but understand what you're seeing right now. All these men at peace. Okay, you're seeing that. But within that crowd, there's extremists. And the extremists will commit violence. That's just what happens, especially when there are non-Muslims and or when there are Muslims of different denominations, basically. That Wahhabis and all that, they different than, okay, you got the Sunni, the Shia, the Wahhabi, all these people, they're going to be fighting. Then there's different nations and tribes and everybody else. Okay, the Arabs are different than the blacks. And as a matter of fact, hold on, I got a good video. Maybe you guys have seen this already, but I got to play this one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Before we go to Sydney and the Bondi Beach situation, this is kind of going viral. It's blowing up all over the place. It was on the Chinese app at first, but now it's spread. This guy says he trusts a Muslim of any race over a Christian. Let's watch this.
I would trust a Muslim with my life before any Christian of any race. And you want to know why? Muslims didn't put my ancestors in chains and drag them from Africa across the Atlantic. I would trust a Muslim.
There is so much here, bro. First of all, I don't know how you're going to be an adult male beyond 30 years old. I would assume probably closer to 40. How are you going to be this old and this ignorant? Let me just come back. Hold on. The Muslim slave trade was longer and more brutal than the Christian or European slave trade. Everyone traded slaves. Everyone traded black slaves. Like, hey, bro, you and I, black Americans, everyone traded us. The Europeans, the Africans, the Arabs, maybe even the Asians, but for sure, the Europeans, Africans, and the Arabs. Mauritania, an African nation with mostly Arabs that are there in the northern part of Africa, they just outlawed slavery in 2007. And really, slavery still goes on there. There's documentaries right now about current day conditions, 2025, where they're still pretty much in slavery. Like, think about the USA at the end of slavery, how they were still forms of it going around, sharecropping and stuff like they're dealing with that right now. They're trying to have this whole thing about, becoming respected. They're trying to have that Jimi Hendrix movement now in 2025. And the Arabs treat the blacks like garbage. And you want to be in an Arab country as a black person? Well, good luck being seen as a first-class citizen. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They don't like you at all. At all. Not all Arabs, but go to Mauritania, go to Libya or somewhere like that. You're going to be sold on an open air slave market if you are a black person. Period. And this is why it's important to not talk about Africa as a whole place, because the northern part of Africa, Mauritania, Mauritius, maybe Algeria, Libya, Egypt, obviously, these are not people that look like you and I. These are not your sub-Saharan West Africans. These are Arabs. It's different. Not the same. Egyptians, they're not black. You may see some black guys over there, but mostly it's not us, it's the Arabs. And they engaged in slavery for a very, very long time. And you know what? He said one thing that was right. He did say they did not take us across the Atlantic. That's right. We went across the Sahara Desert instead, which was more brutal. Imagine walking from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia in the Sahara Desert. You know the whole thing about, oh, that's far. That's like going to Timbuktu. Timbuktu is a real place. Where's it, like in Chad or somewhere in the northern part? It might even be like Niger or somewhere. It's a northern place because it would take the slaves and the goods and everything else from Nigeria, Ghana, all of that up Timbuktu and then across different ports, different little places, and go Ottoman Empire, Egypt, Saudi, etc. That's how that happened. So, bro, the ignorance is real. The Muslims most certainly engaged in the slave trade, and Africans, because it wouldn't have been no slave trade without the Africans participating, without the Africans going and raiding villages. You know, you're watching Alex Haley Roots, and they got nets and stuff like this, like they're catching fish. That's not what happened. It was the Africans that set it all up. Okay, Mr. White Man, can we get an umbrella, please, for these 3 Negroes? Here you go. Boom, take that. Okay, Mr. Arab, can we get one of them fancy robes? Can we get a Quran so we can become terrorists in the future? Okay, cool. Take these black folks. There you go. Have at it. Have at it. Now, here is Roland Martin, Mr. Fatnet himself, talking about the same issue. Hey, you're talking about Muslims. Why not the white Christians? Let's watch this, shall we?
As an African American, when I understand what it means when you have a people who have a bullseye on their back, who are being targeted. I understand that. And so it is absolutely shameful that you cannot be at a Hanukkah celebration and it gets interrupted by mass violence because of 2 evil individuals. But I'm saying 2 evil individuals for a reason. Because under the legitimate FBI leadership of Christopher Wray, they said that the greatest threat in America is white domestic terrorism. So when I listen to people like Senator Tommy Tuberville talk about, getting rid of all Muslims in this country, as an African American, I then say, what about white Christians? Because when we look at violence in this country, mass shootings in this country, who typically commits them? And so I think anybody has to be very careful to not go down this path of, oh my God, all of them, when I, as an African American, who's also, Jillian, please allow me to finish. When I, as an African American, who's also a Christian, can literally look at the history of white Christians committing violence. And so what we cannot do is say, oh, it is the religion that's driving it, as opposed to it is these evil individuals. Piers, you properly talked about guns.
All right, there we go. So there's Roland Martin's take. Hey, you know what? It ain't about the Muslims, as he said. He said Muslims. It's not about the Muslims, as he so eloquently put it. It's about the white Christians because they commit a bunch of the violence and the mass shootings. Now, Roland. Come on, man. I get it. That's part of your shtick. You got to be this liberal weirdo. But check it out, though, bro. violence in this country, you want to go down that road, bro? Come on, man. You know it's us in the community that do that. Mass shootings. What is a mass shooting, though, Roland? You talking about school shootings? Of course, yes. Mostly whites to do the school shootings, yes. But the school shootings are a small snapshot of all the violence in the country. Also, a mass shooting is defined as 4 or more shot at once. Not shot and killed, just shot. 4 or more. That's a regular weekend in the hood. There was a birthday party in California, in Stockton, I believe, that got shot up like that. What, like 10 people got shot at a birthday party? That's not even really that abnormal. That's not even abnormal. I done seen so many shootings. It's been crazy. Now, it's gotten a lot better in modern times. During the crack era in the black community, 10,000 bodies a year, every year, easy. That's not even counting those who are shot, paralyzed, all that kind of stuff. I know so many guys have been shot in the wheelchair, shot, killed, shot, injured. It's like it's nothing. Guys shooting the whole block up, indiscriminate. Guys shooting the whole club, indiscriminate. I didn't seen it. I didn't seen guys get shot on the dance floor inside the club, black clubs. What are you saying, bro? Don't even talk about the violence and talk about the white man. You got white man on the brain disease. White man this, white man that, white man, white man, white man. I would not be surprised if you love the white man in your spare time. Matter of fact, hold on. Do we get a picture of Roland Martin? Okay. Do you got a picture of Roland Martin? Because, I'm just saying, it might be a little bit embarrassing. Some of these pictures, you know what I mean? It might be a little bit embarrassing. Hey, Roland, what's going on here, Roland? That's you? Oh, you loving the white man? Hey, I don't know. Whatever you want to say about ABL, you were Uncle Tom. You a sellout. You were this, that, and the third. Oh, okay. What you're not going to see is ABL with my booty tooted up on some white dude out on the golf course. I ain't going to be doing that, though. I ain't going to be doing that. Oh, white man so dangerous. I can't tell. What's he in danger of doing? Grabbing your hind parts? Is that a danger here, bro? And you don't appear to be in any kind of frightened state of being. You got a big, crazy Kool-Aid smile on your face, bro. You need to stop, man. Just stop. Just stop. Hey, the Muslim threat is real. It is worldwide. Everybody knows it. And we're not trying to say all Muslims are bad. Just like, obviously, Roland, not all white men are bad. You know that. Your smile says that, doesn't it? But there is a risk of the Muslim population committing a terror attack. Not just here, but all over the whole world. Everyone says the exact same thing. Hey, but shout out to Roland Martin. Hey, y'all know already how these guys be. Look, at this point, you seen me enough, and I've exposed these guys enough so you understand the pattern. Whenever anybody, a non-white person says white men are dangerous, white men are evil, they probably are gay or a heterosexual married to a white person. And if they're gay, they like white men. Don Lemon, prime example. Roland Martin, booty tooted up. I'm not saying Roland is gay, but I'm just saying it's kind of compromising. Look at this photograph of this man with his hind parts hiked up on a white man. Hey, Roland, where they do that at? Where they do that at, bro? I don't know, but anyway. Here's a good clip that I found. This is a very good clip about African versus African American. All right. Very good clip.
I will share this that probably unique for the audience, but like to this day, I don't call myself African American. I call myself Black American, right? I say I'm black, but there's a reason for that because during that tour, that once we went to Namibia, I remember that the African people, they were a great host, right? They loved the fact that we were there. They wanted to show you everything and show and, really get you out in town. So they had a program set up where, you have these hosts that just take you and give you tours. And so I'm in there, we on the tour, and I kept calling this dude brother. Hey, brother, how's it going, bro? How's it, bro? And he just mid-tour, he stopped me. He's like, hey, why you keep calling me brother? And I'm like, oh, Well, African American. I'm an African American. You're an African. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, man. You're not African. No, you're not an African. You're an American. I'm like, okay. I don't want an international incident around here, man. Because this brother was hot. He went from 1 to 10 like that, and I'm like, hey, got it. Can I say black? Yeah, I'm black American. He's like, yeah, you black, but you're not an African. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. not African. And I was really like taken back by that because I'm like, hold on, I thought this was, culturally understood across the world. It's like, no, it is not.
You never. Now, some are going to say that's just one person and own experience. That's not everybody. Well, he continues here. Let's keep on going.
You never lived here. Yeah, ancestors maybe, but you do not come from here. Right. And so I was still curious about that. So every other stop, or every other person I introduced, I said, well, how do Africans feel about black Americans that come over here and call themselves African Americans? And to a man, every last one of them said, no, we don't look at y'all as Africans. I said, okay.
There we go. And it's okay. It's totally fine to have that point of view. Nothing against Africans. Shout out to the Africans. Love y'all. You guys watch the channel. I appreciate y'all. But it's okay to be different. We know where we come from as black Americans. We know our ancestry very well. But we've been here for a very long time. We're different. It's just like when you go to Africa, it's not a thing called African, because I just talked about Mauritania, an African quote unquote nation in which the Arabs enslaved the black Africans, and they are not the same. And when they're not enslaved, they're still not on the same page. They're African, right? They both come from Africa. Well, they're not the same people. Even in a place where everybody looks like me, like Nigeria, there's different. You got Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, etc. Different languages, customs, ways of eating, dressing. Things are different. The Europeans came in and carved up a nation that was not really a nation. In Nigeria, you got the Christians in the south, Muslims in the north. Wherever they meet, it's a fight. Why would that be a country you make for yourself where you have such drastic and chaotic division? It wouldn't be. But again, it's when you looking at a place, you got to look at it a little bit different. It's not quite like the USA where we can just make a big country and everybody's kind of like similar. Nah, you got historical homelands that have real differences in language, customs, culture, everything. And it's okay. That's why I say, you know what? We're not African American, we're black American. That's our ethnicity here in America. And it's okay to be that. It's totally fine. Okay. Now, this person is talking about Somalia. They got human rights issues. I wonder if the people who love the migrants, love immigration, I wonder if they want to go to Somalia, or if they want some of them to come over here despite their human rights abuses.
Somalia is ranked as the most anti-LGBT country in the world, next to Afghanistan, another country that Trump is banning immigration. Is that a concern for you guys?
What about the people who are trying to flee from persecution from those places and they want to come to America and then all of a sudden they can't?
That is one of the motivating reasons of why they're coming here. Yes, they're fleeing like the civil war in Somalia that's been going on for decades.
What does banning Somalians and other people from coming into the country do? That's not preventing terrorism. It's just preventing people from having refugee status.
One of the main concerns, I mean, this is a little bit off the initial question, but is that we can't effectively vet people that are coming from certain third world countries because they don't have modern record keeping. You know, like it's a war-torn country. The government is half run by Al-Shabaab. The other is like a government that's not really strong or modern. Same thing with Afghanistan. It's run by the Taliban. So if we're trying to vet people to make sure they're not terrorists or criminals or rapists or whatever it could be, we can't really go and ask that country for like up-to-date, good records about what these people are. So President Trump and his supporters are saying, hey, it's not worth it. It's a tough situation, but like it's a huge risk and it's just not worth doing it right now.
So potentially, I'm not saying we should let in like rapists and terrorists and criminals, but majority of these people who we can I'm not saying we can fairly vet them, but majority of these people are people who are just seeking refuge.
Maybe there's.
How do you know who is who? If you have no record keeping, if you have no idea who they are before they come over here, if you have no way of being able to tell How do you know who is who? You could have a shipment of 100 human beings, and out of that shipment, one could be a self-deleter, put a bomb on his chest, and just do that right in the middle of Times Square. Allahu Akbar, just one. How do you know who is who? If you had accurate records, maybe you would have seen that this guy was in the army and he had disciplinary issues, but you don't have that from Somalia. So how do you know what's really going on? But of course, they want to be sympathetic. They want to be empathetic and let everybody in until something happens. And they're like, oh, well, hey, who saw that coming, right? Who saw that coming? Now, here's one more I wanted to show. Hold on. There's so much I wanted to show. That Trump thing kind of threw me off a little bit because I had my whole show set up and then he came on. All right. Now, let's talk about Sydney, Australia right quick. Okay. Bondi Beach. Now, we all saw what happened. I'm going to turn the sound off because I don't want to get YouTube to get me messed up. But we saw what happened. Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. There was a mass shooting in which, how many died? Was it 15 that died? Okay, let me see. Bondi Beach, death toll. Can I just get the number of the death toll rather than anything else? 15 people. Okay, there we go. 15 people. So that's quite a bit. Now, these guys who were doing this, the shooters, they had their guns legally. So, contrary to popular opinion, you can have guns in Australia, but it's just, I guess, discouraged. Because remember, a while back, they had a big gun buyback. So it's discouraged. They're trying to say, oh, well, you Americans have guns. You got so many mass shootings. Well, look at what's going on here. And also, even if there weren't this kind of thing going on with the mass shooting, if you have no guns yourself, then you'll be easily ruled or dominated by the government. They could do whatever they want to you. They could be like China, where they were welding you inside your homes during COVID. You could do the same thing in Australia with a population that has no way to defend themselves. And that's why we have that over here in the USA. Because we got to defend ourselves from a tyrannical government and from terror attackers like this. Everyone who stepped in to intervene had no weapon. 2 of them actually died in the process. Now, imagine if you had a weapon to defend yourself and others in a situation. You would have had probably a lot fewer deaths, and those who try to intervene maybe had a fighting chance. But what are you to do if you have no weapon at all and they got guns? There's nothing you can do. You're pretty much a victim at that point. So, yeah, I think maybe they need some guns out there in Australia, just maybe. Or it should be more encouraged for everybody to have guns rather than just those who want to commit acts of violence. And of course, they were Muslim, and this was a Jewish celebration. A Holocaust survivor got killed out there. Now, I don't know how that's possible, but that's what happened. That's what they said. A 10-year-old little girl, a rabbi. It was a mess, man. It was crazy. Now, here's the interview out there from local Australian news.
How are we feeling? Is this what you wanted? Is this enough now? Will you listen to us? Albanese, Wong, will you listen to us? Will you actually do something? Will you actually, don't have to stand up and say anything because we don't believe you anyway. And ABC, I've got to say, will you cut out the biased reporting?
That's their local ABC radio. I don't think it's the American Broadcasting Company. I think it's their own ABC out there in Australia. Probably the Australian Broadcasting Company.
Mainstream media, we feel will you cut it out? Will you actually let us have a voice? Because we feel that part of the reason that the Jewish people have experienced such a massive change in Australia towards us. I mean, I'm Aussie. And I'm not a religious Jewish girl, but a woman. But since October the 7th, since all the hatred that's been thrown at us, I started to wear my Magen David because I'm Jewish. And if you have something to say, you can say it to me. And ABC, please stop with the biased reporting.
Victoria,
all right, there we go. So that's what's happening out there in Australia. She's saying we got bias reporting. We got a lot going on. One thing I wanted to show was the officers kind of just like cowering, standing by. All right. Now, you would think, hey, you know what? We got the police on our side. We don't need guns. That's often the response. ABL, we don't need guns. We have the police, and the police will protect you. For real? For real? For real? Oh, okay. Well, do you think they're going to protect you? First of all, you got women as police. Shout out to the girl cops out there doing it big. You guys know who you are. But these individuals, you know, Starbucks KDs, no weapons. What are they going to do? What are they going to do during a terror attack? Can you rely on them? Can you rely on them to protect you? Can you rely on this person cowering behind the car to protect you? Witnesses said the police were out there and froze and just watched it happen. So if the police can't protect you and you cannot protect you, then who will? Nobody. Nobody. But even if the police could protect you or they could intervene, the police aren't always there. The police aren't always able to help you. If you got a home invasion or something like that, you calling the police, but what they're gonna do? They're not your personal security. It'll take time to get there. Let's say it takes 3 minutes. What can happen in 3 minutes with a guy with a gun and you have no gun and he's beating your door down? What do you do? What do you do? So yeah, Australia, I mean, hey, I'm good. Now, here's more about the guy who was one of the shooters. So it was a father and son, Muslim guys inspired by ISIS, of course, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, if you don't know. Oh, ISIS is gone now. No, it's not. ISIS will never go away, or something like it will never go away. Since the beginning, Islam was always spread by the sword. Islam has always spread by the sword, and it always will. Always.
The alleged gunman behind the Bondi Beach attack has been charged with 59 offences, including terror. Meanwhile, the first funerals have been held for some of the 15 people killed. Jonathan Samuels is in Sydney for us. Good to see you, Jonathan. You know, it's been such a difficult day, hasn't it, for the community already in mourning.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Leah. Good morning from Australia, where in many ways life here in Bondi is returning to some sense of normality as the makeshift memorial continues to grow, as people bring flowers and messages. More cafes are open. It is a beautiful summer's day here in Australia, and people are heading back to the beach for a swim or a surf. But as they do that, one of the alleged gunmen has been charged. Naveed Akram, charged with 59 offences, including 15 counts of murder, charged by his hospital bedside. And as those charges were being made, not far from here, the first two funerals took place, as you say. Two rabbis being buried. Eli Schlanger, a man described at the service as a gift for our city, and Rabbi Yaakov Levitan, a father of four, who really did have a huge impact on the Jewish community here.
All right, there we go. So that's what's happening out there in Bondi Beach. Again, RIP to all those who died. Prayers out to the family. But we know what this was. Terror attack from Muslim people. Okay, now, also, there was the Brown shooting where they don't know, they can't find the guy. They got all these cameras on campus, but they said that the shooting happened in the old part of the campus and they don't have cameras there. Okay. So apparently he said something before the shooting, but they won't say what he said. I wonder what he said before the shooting. I wonder what he said before the actual shooting. Anybody want to guess? I think it's one of two things, but let's just watch this right quick.
There's a report the shooter yelled something right before his shot came in. Can you tell us what that was?
Yeah, it's part of the investigation, John, and we'll, yeah.
Now, the only reason I ask that, though, is, for instance, like with the Unabomber, his brother recognized the writing. So it's possible a friend or family member might recognize if the person said something that was significant.
Correct.
That's a very, very good point. So let's just recap. The reporter is asking, I'm not sure, probably a police chief right here. I'm not sure what this is, spokesperson or chief. The reporter is asking him if the shooter said anything before the actual incident took place. He says part of the investigation, which may mean that he knows, but he can't say because they're still investigating. But if he put it out there publicly, then someone may recognize what he said and they're able to identify him, because remember, the guy's still on the run. So if you're able to say what he said, maybe somebody who knows him or has heard that before from him can point you in the right direction.
That's why you don't, other than the 9mm, is there anything else inside that auditorium that you could tell us?
No, that's correct. And listen, like I said earlier, investigations will bring us to evidence that we need to collect in order to be able to prosecute. With that being said, we're going to continue to collect evidence, and if it leads us to something to that nature that's going to be extremely helpful for us to identify somebody, we'll be the first ones to put it out.
Alex, follow up on John's question. Did the suspect yell, like has been reported, and there's been some erroneous reporting, but did he yell when he came in the classroom? And how valuable have witness statements been from those who survived?
Listen, my heart goes out to the victims. It goes out to the families, and I'll tell you that their cooperation has been extremely helpful. And that, with that being said, we'll continue, and I'm going to respect the fact that, and I hope that they get better, and my heart and soul goes out to them. So,
did he yell though?
So that's something that we're investigating.
See. I don't know, man. Like, now, what do y'all think he did? Was there a yell? Like, in your opinion, was there a yell? Did he say aloha snap bar, Allahu Akbar, whatever it is, or something else? What do y'all think he said, if he said anything? What was the phrase, the words, whatever? What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, here is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That's throwback right there, right? She was a former DNC chair on News Nation, and the host is asking her, hey, what's the bigger threat to America? Or is the Islamic terror threat a threat to America? Matter of fact, now here's what it was. He's asking her, is Islamophobia a bigger threat than Islamic terrorism, jihad? Let's watch.
What is the bigger threat to America right now, American values, American life? Islamophobia or jihad?
Hey, how do I answer this question without getting canceled? How do I answer this question? It's like you're accessing Borg, the Democrat Borg. Okay, how do I answer? Okay, got it. Boom.
I think we have to focus, quite frankly, on, if we're worried about the threat to American values, on the person who's in the White House. I mean, we have a president.
Oh, come on. Really?
No,
is that where we're going? Come on.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Islamophobia, Islamic extremism, jihadism, how about Orange Man? How about January 6th? Really? Is that what we doing? And look, that's my face right there. Really? For real? Debbie Wasserman Schultz, come on. But look, let's go back. Here go to, okay, Orange Man bad. There go to, that's your directive. Boom. There we go. Hey, these people, man, these politicians, they're something else, man. I'll tell you what. Orange Man or jihad? Jihad been going around. Jihad been here since the beginning of the religion. Since the beginning. Since stone tools, all that kind of, it's been here. Trump has been here just for a blink of an eye when compared to the entire history of religion in this world. So that's her answer, though. That is her answer. Okay, dokie. Where we going to go next? We got quite a few things to get to. Okay. Hold on. This is going to be young man over in UK talking about being taught about Muhammad and this, that, and the third. But he talks about He wants to be told about his own history as a Brit, as a white European. Let's watch some of this. All right, and let's go ahead and start from the top. There we go. Let it rock.
In schools, they're pressuring us to learn about Islam and learn about the people that are coming over. I don't want to learn about that. I want to learn about my culture, my beliefs, and I'm proud to be English. Yeah.
Have they taught you about the Bill of Rights?
No.
Did you learn about the Battle of Agincourt?
No. In school, they were teaching us about, you know, about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad, and all their ideologies. They barely covered Christianity at all.
Did they tell you about how he was a warlord who brutally murdered people?
No, they wouldn't say any of that. And when I tried to stand up and say that some of them things, I would get in trouble for it. Suspended from school because apparently I was being racist. I wasn't. I was just trying to, you know.
You're questioning an ideology.
Yes, I was questioning the ideology, and in my opinion, it's not the right ideology. They're trying to take away my free speech in school. They're trying to silence me in school, to suspend me from school for, you know, trying to stand up and discuss stuff about Islam, the wrongs of it. So they only say, oh, Islam's a peaceful religion, but if you look into their book, you'll find out it's not. In schools.
All right, there we go. So shout out to him, young man out there. I believe UK. Okay, Great Britain, Kingdom of Great Britain. Trying to hang on, trying to maintain it. Hey, I'm with you 100%, bro. You know, I see videos from Europe all the time, the Europeans, and sometimes I get discouraged. I'm like, man, y'all toast. But guys like this, we need more guys like that over there to help them to continue. Because the way things are going right now with Europe becoming Afghanistan, I don't know how you survive. If you are overtaken by all these people, if you're educated to be like these people, you will be those people. You're not going to be Britain. You're not going to be France, Germany. It's all going to be gone. You're going to have a greater Afghanistan, a greater Iran. You're going to have that. Now, if you enjoy Afghanistan, then that's fine. I don't know about y'all, but I feel like it's 2025. I ain't trying to be in the Stone Age. You got guys wearing cloth from random things in the forest, flip-flops. I'm good, bro. I'm good. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to have, listen, I don't want no dancing boys all on my face. I'm good with that. That's not a thing that I think is okay at all. But that's what they do. So if you want that culture, it's fine. Then accept what you accepting right now over in Europe. All right. Now, this guy, another young guy over in Europe, he's kind of on the opposite spectrum of the guy we just saw, in my opinion. Judging from this video right here, if you were to ask him, hey, man, what's your opinion about Prophet Muhammad? Oh, he's a great guy. How about Aisha? But she's 6 years old. Oh, don't worry about that. Anyway, this ain't really about that. This is about some financial stuff, talking about minimum wage. Hey, if we just raise the wage, we could create more jobs. It's like magic. Let's watch.
I have more disposable income. I'm more likely to go out to pubs, more likely to go out to shops. That means that more jobs can be created because of this. And so not only am I benefiting because I've got more money to spend, which means I can buy nice gifts for Christmas time or go out for meals with my friends or go to my local pub, but it means that more jobs can actually be created as a multiplier effect because I'm going out more in those public spheres, so more transport, people in transport, more people in hospitality, more people in retail will have to be hired in order to facilitate me with my disposable income going out there.
Oliver, stay there with us. John, what do you say to that? That actually there's a positive benefit to the economy because people like Oliver have got more spending power.
So again, it comes back to the philosophy is wonderful, but the facts and the practical output, as has been highlighted, is that hospitality is massively down. And hospitality itself is hospitality and retail are wonderful breeding grounds for talent. Because actually they need enthusiasm, which lots of young people have, rather than lots of experiences. But those businesses are finding it ever more difficult for lots of reasons to employ people.
Okay, so let's talk about it for real. If you raise the minimum wage, if you force companies to raise what they pay their employees, what happens is they have to make up that expense somewhere because the wage does not just come from nowhere. It's not like the company is just making so much money and they could pay you double the wage. They just don't. That's not the way it works. Your wage is market value and also what they are able to afford. Simple. If you are getting paid, let's say when I say 15 quid or whatever y'all say, you get paid 15 quid an hour and then you get paid 30 an hour. Well, the money comes from somewhere. So in order to make that happen, they probably got to fire employees, which means you're going to have a bigger workload. You're going to work harder for that $30. And also, they got to start to raise prices of goods and services. And that'll be a domino effect across all businesses. So you think you have more money, but you don't. In essence, you have made a lateral move. You just went from right here to right here. You didn't go from right here to right here. You moved because you got more money, but you did not move forward because your money has now been devalued because of inflation due to the minimum wage increase, forcing companies to make things cost more to pay you the increased money. So you're not going to have extra money to buy things. You're not going to have extra money to go and do other things because you're going to end up having that same effect wherever you go, all in the country. Very simple. But some guys, they don't really understand. They don't get it. It's just like when I was a little boy, and I asked my mom, hey, you know what? Can we just print money? Because, I found out about the money machine, that we could just print money. Can we just print money? Then, if we did that, everybody would have more money. But that's not the way it works. Value comes from scarcity. And if money was just literally growing on trees that have no value, it's like diamonds are rocks you find on the ground or in the mine or somewhere, right? But if diamonds were as plentiful as gravel, as sand on the beach, as dirt on the ground, it would have no value. I could buy a whole bag of dirt with all kind of nutrients and all kind of stuff put in there for $1, maybe $2. A 40-pound bag of dirt for $2. A 40-pound bag of diamonds would be a lot more than that, wouldn't it? That value is in the scarcity. If you increase the supply of this thing, then it has lesser value. Very simple. Just like with COVID, when they printed all that money, and then we got inflation. Why? Because you devalue the dollar. Therefore, things cost more. A simple concept, but to some, it's difficult to understand. Okay, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, have you guys seen this video here of this lady getting harassed because she had on the Charlie Kirk shirt? Now, this is crazy. Let's just watch some of this. This is at a Target. This is an elderly lady named Jeannie. So shout out to Jeannie and Target and her Charlie Kirk shirt. But let's watch.
Why? They let you wear that shirt here?
Yes. Why? Why are you taking my picture?
Why are you wearing that shirt? You're working. It's not
It's
a Target
red shirt. I can wear any red shirt.
It's not a plain shirt.
It doesn't have to be
It's a Charlie Kirk shirt.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Are you fucking stupid?
No.
Why the fuck would you wear that? You're at work at Target. That's not a Target shirt. It's not a plain red shirt. You support a racist.
It's not racist.
You support a racist.
He's not a racist.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he fucking is.
I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stand here and argue with you.
You're not. You should go get your manager. You should not be allowed to wear that at work. Unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable.
That's your opinion.
No, the opinion is he's a fucking racist and you support him.
That's your opinion, ma'am.
And you should not be allowed to wear that. This is going to be taken above your fucking head. That's insane. Insane.
Have a nice day.
Insane.
So, hey, Jeannie, shout out to you. You did not deserve that. You just minding your business, working that Target. You did not deserve what she did to you. So shout out to you. And to the lady that did this, they found her, they doxed her, they did everything. Now, I don't believe in the doxing of people because of stuff like this when they go and do bad things. But, I mean, you asking for it. First of all, it's not like you were just on the side of the road having a conversation, having the meltdown, and someone recorded you and uploaded it, and you got found from that. Nah, you went into the Target with your phone out, recording a lady, cussing at her, all kind of stuff over her Charlie Kirk shirt. And then you talking about it's not a plain red shirt. Are you the HR lady at Target? Do you work at Target? Do you know what the uniform is? How you going to tell her what her shirt got to be? It's not a plain red shirt. How you going to tell her what it's got to be? How you going to say that in the moment? See, you know what? You know what I blame on this? I blame some of these videos on that Chinese app, the Clock app. I blame people that say you could bully the MAGAs. We hate the MAGAs. You watch stuff like that and you believe it. And then you go harass somebody in real life, in real time. Hey, do not harass people. Leave people alone. You know what? One time I saw literally a 7-foot tall drag queen in Atlanta with a Statue of Liberty outfit on. I swear for everything. The dude might have had on stilts. This dude might have been tall as King Xerxes in 300. You understand what I'm saying? A giant with a Statue of Liberty suit on, the hat and everything. It was crazy when I saw it. I was looking like, what? But why would I go up to this dude and harass him? For what? What am I going to, like, why? Why? Leave people alone. Think whatever you want to think. Feel however you want to feel. But don't harass nobody, man. And you know what? She learned the hard way. And Jeannie got a GoFundMe. It's a bunch of monies that's been raised for her. Shout out to Jeannie and a Charlie Kirk shirt. We support you and Charlie. And she was so nice. Have a nice day. She was just, the way she did that, handled the situation, was so nice and so professional. We need more like Jeannie and less of the Karens who came in there recording her, talking about some, oh, that shirt's not, that ain't the right shirt. You got a shirt with a, shut up, lady. How about that? How about that? But yeah, shout out to Jeannie again. Oh, here's a good one. Now, this is a young lady talking about, I'm from Mexico, but I'm in America because of money. You guys aren't that great. Now, there was a lot here, actually. Let's just watch some of this, shall we? Okay. And speaking about not harassing people, do not harass this woman either. Keep all your comments right here on my video, okay?
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes, for sure.
Okay, there's a lot there. First of all, you say that you say America is not better than Mexico, but you say it's a little, what you say, a little less worse. Now, I'm not a genius. I'm not a rocket scientist, but you could have just said that it's better. A little less worse in my brain means that it is better. And you came here for better opportunity. We got more money here. There's more businesses here. It's a better country. You get a better life. It's not as violent. It's not as poor. And your money is worth more back there. If minimum wage is 15 an hour in Mexico and you're able to make much more here, when you send money back to Mexico, it's worth more there. It's so simple. So you're here for money, and we're ending the gravy train. We had enough of you stealing from us and sending abroad. If you want to come here legally as a legal citizen and do that, that's fine. That's legal to do that. Illegally, sending money back and then ungrateful on top of that, nah, you could go ahead and go. You can go ahead and go right now. And if your country is so good, the vibes, this, that, and the third, okay, just stay there. Just stay there. It's worth it, right? Because you got the good vibes. You ain't making no money and you poor and you starving and you hungry, but it's fine though because you got better vibes, right? Oh, okay. maybe, just maybe, we know something here in this country that you guys don't know. Maybe if you guys are more like us, you be more like us. Rather than trying to come here and get some money and send it back home, you can make back home better. Very simple. But yeah, shout out to all the legal immigrants doing the right thing, adding to America, not hating America. If you hate America, you don't like where you live at, it sucks. It's not more better than Mexico, then go back. I tell anybody, you got a problem with our country, the door is open. This ain't North Korea. You're not held prisoner. Out, out, out. Exactly. Somebody said, eat those vibes. Exactly. I got better vibes. Eat that. Put that in your bowl and eat that. All right. Okay. We got a couple more here. Then I'm going to get to some calls and things of this nature. All right. Hold on. Where we at? And again, sorry because I lost a little bit of time here. I lost some time because of the Trump situation. Where I want to go. I think I want to go right here. This guy says that white people are proud, but why are they proud? What are they proud of? This is a good one. We gotta watch this. I might have one more to make it to the calls.
Full disrespect intended, but what is white pride? What are we talking about? Like, what are you proud of? Like, when we talk about, like, people who are proud of being black, like, I think of the blues music, I think of jazz music, I think of rap music, I think of all of the things that they have done for the arts and for society and the hard work that they have done for rights. When I think about gay pride, I think about, once again, tons of contributions to the arts, both closeted and not closeted. And I think of the hard work that they've done for their rights. And then when I hear people talk about, like, white pride, I'm like, what are you proud of? The Trail of Tears? Like, slavery? And I'm, yeah, like, full disrespect intended. I don't understand what the whole white pride thing is. Like, especially the people who claim to not be Yahtzees. Because, like, what are we talking about? What are you proud of? I want to know. I want to know why you're proud to have the skin color you have.
Okay, now there's a lot there. First of all, when I say I'm proud to be black, I'm not talking about accomplishments. I'm talking about just me being who I am. My physical characteristics, my attributes, who I am as a person, and my history. I'm proud of all of that. Everything that comes with it. Accomplishments or just being who I am. And if you're white, it should be the same thing. You should be proud of who you are, your characteristics, your features, your accomplishments, your history. Be proud of that. Okay, and I don't like how you're going to put blacks and gays in the same category. They always do that. They say blacks, gays, immigrants, as if we're like just subordinate to the almighty whitey. And you feel guilty about being the almighty whitey. So you say stuff like, what are you proud of? There's a lot to be proud of if you're a white person. Okay, Europe, Rome, everything, the accomplishments, and just being who you are. Be proud of that handlebar. I can't do no handlebar mustache like that. Be proud of your bowl haircut, handlebar mustache. Just you as a person. Be proud of that. But I think what this is he feels guilty about feeling like he's a top dog, and he puts everybody beneath him, and then he kind of downs himself. It's like being fake humble. Oh, are you poor blacks and gays and immigrants? You guys so struggling. You guys doing so poorly. And I'm doing so well. It must something to be you. You feel guilty about that. See, what you said right there makes me think you are what you call it, young man, Yahtzee. It makes me think you're the actual Yahtzee here and not those you want to point the finger at. But anyway, yeah, shout out to him. I don't like trying to just reduce me to rap music and stuff like that. I don't like that. Not at all. I think every people group or every person in this world should look at themselves in the mirror and appreciate all of who they are. Okay, they should appreciate everything about themselves, their family, their history, their heritage, everything. Appreciate all of that. It don't matter who you are. Black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. Everybody should be proud of themselves. And it shouldn't be racist to say that. Okay. I got two more. I said, I was lying. I got two more. She says, you know what? What is the purpose of having EBT if you got to buy real food with it?
It's not even cool. Like, why they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Hannah Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like. Soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice with less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it will not be allowed to be purchased on SNAP cards.
I don't know what Trump is doing. I don't know what's going on. It's not even.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you. I'm here to help. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help. Okay, it says food stamps. You should buy food with it. What's the purpose of food stamps? What was the intended purpose from the beginning? Well, the intended purpose was to provide food for those who didn't have it, to provide food for those who were going through starvation or something like this. Not for you to buy whatever you want just because, okay? For you to go ahead and have your iPhone with your AirPods in and your hair done and everything else and your eyebrows fixed up however you want. It's not to maintain your bottom of the barrel lifestyle in a fun way. It is to maintain you as a person while you're going through a tough time. Or if you're like 1,000 years old or something like, and you can't work and you got to get something to eat. It's for that purpose. People are misusing it. And what we're doing right now is rolling all that back, so ain't no more misusing, abusing of this program. It was meant for one thing. It's being used for an entirely different thing, and we're done with that. Very simple. Okay, I got one more. And I still got a lot I didn't even show. Look all these tabs I got open. I got a lot I didn't even show because of the Trump speech. But let's just watch some of this right here. Okay, about the food stamps. He has his 2 cents to give. Let's watch.
You've been on Section 8 for like 15 years, right? You've never paid a single dollar for groceries, right? In fucking 15 years. You never had to do shit, and now y'all are hating Trump because he's making you get a fucking job. You know what? Fuck yes! Fuck yes! Let's go! You had the chance this whole time for 15 years. You had the stepping stones in place for 15 years. 15 years you didn't have to pay shit. You could have fucking capitalized on all that free shit. And now you're mad. Like, fuck.
All right, there we go. Sorry for the cussing, but the message is right on point. Listen. You've had so much time on these programs to reap the benefits and to build something from that. But what happens a lot of times with these programs is it's not a stepping stone. It is a hammock. It is a comfy bed. It is a sanctuary. It is a place you could just exist and live however you want. So when that's cut off, now people are scrambling like, what do I do? Well, it's called get a job. It's called working, which is why these programs should be heavily restricted. And it shouldn't be a lifestyle choice. It should be there for those who really, really need it temporarily. If you're able-bodied and working, you're 25 years old, able-bodied, can go out there and work, do that rather than getting on these programs when you're 25 and you're 40 years old. Your whole life done passed you by on the programs and you've made no advancements at all. That's not what it's for. All right. But that's that on that. Okay. Oh, I got one more. This is real funny. One more, then I'm gonna get to the calls. And Candace, right quick, speak on Candace. Have you guys seen the Piers Morgan interview? I may show that next time. I don't know. I'm not really interested in that story, to be totally honest, but have you seen that? Now, a lot of Candace's fans do not like what she said about Erica, and they're turning on her. Oh, I can't listen to her no more. Hey, that was going to happen. I told y'all to stop paying it attention. Let it play out. And when the smoke clears, we'll see what's what. I think the smoke is clearing and we're able to see that it's nothing burger. As I said from the beginning, just let the whole thing play out and don't be too invested into the back and forth. If you are, at the end of it, you'll be let down. Okay. So here's a baby. This is a baby. This is Shane McAnally. And his name, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna show his name just so you know that I'm not making stuff up here. Okay, what's this guy's name? Now, y'all tell me, because y'all know I'm not a rocket scientist. How do you pronounce that name right there? Shane McAnally? It looks like something else, and I don't want to be inappropriate, okay? Listen, I don't want to be inappropriate, but that name right there looks like something else, okay? Now, I guess he's gay, or I don't know if he got a gay friend or something like this. He's a country singer. All right. Now, he put out a video on his Instagram of this little, cute little baby. Shout out to the baby. Okay. And the baby made a facial expression when he said something that kind of shocked him. Let's watch.
You're such a happy boy. Yeah, you are. Yeah, because you have a brother. Yeah, and you have a sister. Yeah, and you have 2 puppies. And 2 dads. Oh.
Wait, did you see when he said you have 2 dads? Did you see his expression? And these new babies are smart. These new past COVID babies, they smart. They know what's going on. They're like, I feel like the post COVID babies still got some of their old life in there. And they still kind of are intelligent. But let's watch some of this.
Yeah, and you have 2 puppies. And 2 dads.
2 dads? Huh? I got 2 dads? Listen, I done came back to this human life, and I got 2 dads? Really? Hey, God, listen, God, yo, if the baby could talk, he'd be like, God, for real, 2 dads? That's what we gonna do? I gotta live my life like this? Hey, man, send me back, bro. Give me a new family or something, bro. Make a miracle happen. You can turn water into wine. Turn my dad into a mom, for real, and not no transformer. Okay, boom. That's what I would say. It's not AI. No. I saw it on this Instagram page. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's go to Shane McAnally. Let's go to his Instagram page. It's right there. Because I thought the same thing. That's got to be AI. Nah. Okay. And you can see what he titled it right here. 6-week-old homophobic baby. That's what he said on his own Instagram page. And this, you can see it's right here. Verified page.
Such a happy boy. Yeah, you are. Yeah, because you have a brother. Yeah, and you have a sister. Yeah, and you have 2 puppies. And 2 dads.
2 dads? Bro, what we doing? So, yeah, not AI. Okay, there we go. But if you like what you're hearing so far, hey, that's Charlie. Somebody said that's Charlie Kirk reincarnated. Yeah, that's Charlie. Charlie came back, and he's like, word, bro, for real? For real, bro? Come on, man. Nah, we're not going to do that. So, yeah, shout out to Charlie. If that's you, I see you, bro. Hey, I'm right there with you, boss. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty, we got super chats on deck. I'm gonna get to those, and we're gonna get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description box and also in the ticker right there. At a certain point, it'll pop right up. Let's go to the supers here. Thank you to Apple Bucker All Puff Daddy, who says, hi, ABL, proclaim freedom for Tina Peters. Thank you to Apple again, who says, ABL opinion on those rhinos who betrayed Trump. Hey, man, they got to get up out of here. Apple again says, ABL, you think MAGA Republicans can win the midterms? That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can, maybe they won't. It depends on what the general public feels about the economy. If the economy is bad and they think it's Trump's fault, then we may suffer. But if it's getting better by then I think we have a better chance of being able to win in the midterms. Apple says, Cal Seraphim for FBI Deputy Director. Thoughts? I don't know who that is, but if he's good, then shout out to him. Apple says, ABO, your fan, Ephraim Peters, wants to know if you watch Kung Fu movies. If so, what's your favorite? Personally, I like Steven Seagal and Mark for Death. I've not watched those in a while. I watched them when I was like high school. Yeah. I'll never forget. I had my surgery on my wisdom teeth taken out when I was like 15. And I was watching like old Jackie Chan, Drunken Master, stuff like that. So yeah, old Jackie Chan, not Rush Hour, Chris Tucker. Good movie, but I'm talking about his Hong Kong stuff, wet 70s stuff. So like 1970s, that type of thing. And if it's anything modern, like a Jet Li, or just action movies in general. Because Kung Fu, to me, it was about the action. So I just will talk about like a John Wick. I put John Wick in the same category as Drunken Master. It's just action, but in different eras and different cultures. So I like action in general, where it's light on dialogue, but heavy on the action, whether it's hand-to-hand combat or gunplay. I'm with it. But yeah, old Jackie Chan, the old, like, and also old Jet Li. And Bruce Lee, of course, that's like ubiquitous. But old Jackie Chan, he was the dude. All right, thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says Newsmax Rubio will not run advanced runs 2028. Well, of course not. Why would he run against? Why would he try to primary JD? That's why I was saying I like Marco. I think Marco was better than JD Vance right now, honestly. But I think JD is more of the shoe-in because he is currently the vice president. So it'd make more sense to put JD right there. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. All right. Thank you to David Carr, who says Tucker also sells nicotine pouches to his audience and says nicotine use is made in India, by the way. Well, there you go. And I told y'all about these rich podcasters, all the rich podcasters who say the Jews this, the Jews that. Ask yourself where they get all this money from if they say the Jews control all the money. How did the Jews control all the money, but they got it? Make it make sense. Thank you to Lindsay Dunbar, who says, what up, ABL? Keep on speaking that truth. Peace. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Lanita, who says, finally still sleeping with that man. Too defensive. Of course she is. That's her man. Yeah, like months later, after the whole thing was done, they were spotted at Hartsfield Jackson together. Now, matter of fact, it wasn't even Hartsfield Jackson. It was on the road, like 85 somewhere in the Atlanta area, because her daughter had broken down. So she called Fonnie, and Nate was right there. Thank you to Lanita, who says, Jasmine, shapewear is our friend. It is. It is. You got to get her right, Lanita. Papa Nice, thank you for your super chat. Says, Roland, a low-key fruit booty. Remember his iPad incident? Yeah, I remember that. So Roland was doing his live show, and he was playing, like how I do. I play videos and whatnot on my show, and all of a sudden, the video had scrolled, and what was next was like some man with his hind parts out. I'm just like, who was this? You talking about some, it was an accident, all this and that. It's like, all right, bro. That is your algorithm. When you're not reacting to the news, you watching some other stuff. when you're not reacting to the news, when you're not going on TV, you're doing so much with your time. That's what's going on. Thank you to the White Man, who says you sent me 5 memberships. Thank you for that. For sending 5 ABL memberships. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, while everyone is focused on hateful left-wing activist Rob Reiner's death, Black opera singer Jubilant Sykes was also deleted by his son last Monday. Yeah, that's crazy. And Jubilant Sykes, I didn't know who that was, but Rob Reiner, I know who that is. That's why it was more, and that's why, not more important, that's why it was more of a news story. But what's happening with these young men hurting their parents? Like, what's really the thing? Why is that happening? I don't really know. Thank you to Lanita, who says, I'll say it, Roland is lighting his loafers. Hold on, I got something on my eye. Let me get this out right quick. Let me turn, not this. There we go. But I'm still here. I just got to dig in my eye right quick. But yeah, Roland is light in the loafers. He is. And anybody can see it. And the thing about it is, I don't know why you gotta hide anymore. It's 2025. Living your truth, bro. Living your truth. You're not gonna actually listen, you're not gonna suffer for coming out the closet right now. It's not gonna happen. You'll be all right. I gotta flush my eye. Every now and again that happens. I got a trick eye. I had surgery on my eye like a few years ago, and it still messes up every now and again. Hey, that's one place you don't want to have any kind of problem is your eye. I mean, I'd rather have a broken leg than an eye problem. Thank you to the white man again for your 5 memberships. I appreciate you for that. Give me 1 second. I got to flush my eye out right quick. 1 second. Hey, that water feel like. Wait. That water feels like heaven on my face. Good Lord. Hey, that water felt so good. It was like I got reborn. Lord have mercy. Shout out to H2O. Hey, if you could just feel how I feel right now, it's the best. Okay. Let's get to a few calls. The number to call 706-406-3287. Now it's not an eyelash. I can get an eyelash out. I used to wear contacts, so if I I go like that right there. I'll go like that and touch my eyelid or my eye. Yeah, I don't got a problem touching my eye to get the eyelash out. What happens is it gets like kind of dry and it starts messing up. And it was crazy. I'm gonna tell you a story right quick about my eye when I had surgery. So I used to work from home way back in the day. I was a graphic in front of my computer, and it was a low light situation. It was low lights. So what had happened was I used to get styes a lot, all on my eye, on both eyes, but this one mostly. And one day I got a chalazion. If you ever seen a chalazion before, it was a really big bump under my eyelid, and it was like my eye was closed because the bump was so big. So I got it removed, and ever since then, I got like a little nerve in my head that kind of aches, and also sometimes my eye would just get randomly dry for no reason. That was years ago. That had been like 2012. It was a long time ago, and I still get issues with my eye occasionally. All right, and the screen time. That's right, because I'm right here in front of the screen. Yeah, and these lights also not making it better. When I'm not working, I try to reduce my screen time as much as possible. And on my phone, I got the screensaver feature on it, the eye saver. And the most important thing is having abundant light whenever I'm reading any kind of screen. All right. But yeah, I don't do a lot of screen time. Like, I'm not in front of my computer when I'm not doing this. So when I'm on my phone, I got a little screen thing on it, and I try to limit that as well. When I'm not here, I don't have that problem with my eye. All right. I'll get to a few calls. The number to call again, 706-406-3287. And it's only sometimes where that happens where I get real dry in my eye. And normally, if it'll happen, it'll be like at the end of the show. So when I get up, I'll just flush it. But right there, I had to flush it right now. Probably because I saw that Trump speech I'm playing. 860, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, it's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. I just wanted to comment on a couple of things real quick and then get off here and let other people go talk. First thing is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. If you do a deep dive background in her, you'll see that there's a couple of dead bodies, of young investigating lawyers. One was a young black man that was found naked on the beach down there at Fort Lauderdale with innuendos of homosexuality, which I personally think was just a slander to cover up the fact that they murdered him. That was right after Seth Rich was shot by an FBI agent in Washington, D.C. You know it was an FBI agent because it's never been solved. But that's enough about that. The Quran. Yes, they're very peaceful verses, beautifully written peaceful verses of peace in the Quran. And they're very violent peace verses of Quran, just like the Bible, except for one major difference. The Bible, you can pick and choose from anywhere in that book for the situation you want to evoke that passage, because it was written by many men over many periods of life. But the Quran was written by one man over the period of his life. So if two verses, peaceful and violent, contradict each other, you always go with what's written in the back of the book, and in the back of the Quran, that's where all the violent verses are written, because as he got older, he got more aggravated about not being able to conquer the entire known world before he died. Anyway, that's all I got for you, brother. Love the show. Great information. Keep driving on, ABL. Hooah.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right, let's go to 828 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, my God, yes. What's up, ABL? I've been wanting to talk to you forever. This is Lindsay Dunbar from Asheville. How you doing?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm good. Dude, that video of that baby earlier just, opened up my mind, and I just had to ask you one thing. What is your opinion on reincarnation?
I think it's real. I think it's definitely real.
Yeah, man. I mean, seriously, I think I was 13, 14 years old, right? And I'm sitting on the living room floor watching the TV in my mom's living room. And it's this random story about this little boy who's 4 years old out of Scotland, right? And he starts telling his mom all these memories he has of his real family. And he was crying and having dreams at night after night, just missing his family, right? And she's like, man, I'm really worried about my kid. So she brought him to a psychologist. He sent him to a bunch of scientists. And the next thing you know, he's literally flying on a private jet to this island that actually exists, right? They get him there to this beach. He has a real address. He has a name of the family. He remembers the dog's name. He stands outside the house looking in, and then suddenly he gets emotional. He starts remembering so much more than he ever remembered in his life. They walk him through the house, and he points out to the wall. It's just an empty wall in the living room. He said, well, that's where the chimney is. And he was really frustrated that it wasn't there anymore. Nobody really believed him. They left. Later, they found out through the blueprints there was a chimney there back in the day. And there was the family by that name, and et cetera. And there's so many other stories and reports out there. And I saw somebody say in the comments, reincarnation, is not real or it can't be possible. And I'm just like, man, there's just so many telling stories out there. And it's kind of hard for me to, kind of close my mind on that whole thing.
I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. I've heard stories like that before, and it's like, okay, you might just hear one off and you might think, okay, that's not really nothing. But I've heard so many stories. I've heard quite a bit like that. So I believe you 100%.
Yeah. Well, dude, I love your show. Thank you so much. And I hope you have an awesome night, man. Keep on rocking and rolling.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, peace.
Yeah, that video was crazy though. Two dads. He made the baby made a face. Like, two dads for real? Yo, this is what I gotta do with the rest of my life. I'm a baby born into this ridiculousness. Yo, yeah, I believe in reincarnation for sure. Because it's your soul coming back. Your soul is eternal. You come back in another body. Yeah, for sure. I believe that. But it's all kind of, see, I don't like talking like that because it's like a little too much. It's already politics going on. Then you want to get into the spirituality and all of that, and that's going to be a religious clash. It's going to be a lot going on. So, I don't like talking like that too much, but I believe that is the case for sure. I most certainly do. Yep. See, you can't prove the soul exists. You can't prove a lot of different things. Just like with religion, can you prove that God exists? Can you prove Jesus is real? No, I mean, not really, but you can because it's your faith. And people have stories that are special to them. They got the Bible, and then they can just point to certain things that have happened, and you could just make it happen that way. But as far as being able to get a cell phone video with Jesus talking about, yeah, here I am, it ain't going to be like that. But it's okay because it's part of your faith. All right, so let's go to 859. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL is your combination of Hamia Malay, Anton LaVey, your Luciferian Libertarian friend. How's it going? I'm on my break, toking, smoking, relaxing, listening to the show while playing video games, Warzone. What's up with you, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's going on?
I read something recently, and I was going through social media that Trump is now trying to change the class of cannabis instead of a Schedule 1 drug to scheduling it down. And I appreciate that. That's the one thing I kind of was looking forward to when I was younger, is to, and of all things, a Republican president, you would never think a Republican president would actually push this through. He is trying to classify it and decriminalize cannabis. So something that plenty of people have used for medications or relaxation, just for, for medication or otherwise. Now we don't have to live in fear of, like, getting arrested, getting pulled over for something that is no different than the caffeine that we take. And only our founding fathers take it as well. Thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL. Much love to you. Hey, appreciate the phone call, buddy.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, man, I want to go ahead and take a blinker and say, thank you for Trump for legalizing something that threw a lot of people behind bars for the most silliest and dumbest reasons ever. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. So we'll see what the whole thing with the weed. That was also not a declaration made during the speech about the weed situation, but I think that'll happen soon. I think it will happen soon because what they're seeing is that there's a big drop off in the alcohol consumption of Americans. Like younger Americans, they are less into alcohol, and I think it's because they're more into the weed. Because you're going to have something that fills that void. I told y'all about that. I told y'all about how drugs, any kind of thing that you have as a vice, will be there. And when you keep moving the goalposts and saying this is okay, that's okay, that's okay, you're going to get more and more things that are considered to be okay. At one point, it was just alcohol, tobacco. That was it. And then here comes other stuff. Weed was there, but alcohol, tobacco was the main thing. Then weed comes in, that becomes like the next kind of taboo thing. If weed is like totally legalized and there's no taboo, no stigma or anything around it anymore, then the next drug will come in to take that taboo space. This is exactly what's going to happen. And if that happens, then you're going to keep moving the goalposts further and further and further, and then drugs will become just part of your regular everyday routine. Guys would be drinking and smoking and shrooms and this and that. I don't know what the next thing is going to be. Probably some kind of chemical concoction they got at the gas station. That'll be the next biggest thing. But yeah, old Fox says they can't afford it. They can afford weed though. They can afford vapes. They can afford the clothes and Taylor Swift tickets. They can afford it. It's not that they can't afford the alcohol. It's not that. It's that they'd rather would smoke weed. That's what's going on with the young people. Also, maybe they're going out to the bars less. Actually not. They're still going to the bars, but they're smoking weed. In Atlanta, you got certain clubs where they smoke weed in the club. I'm cool on that. I don't want that. I don't want to smell like cigarette smoke, weed smoke, crack smoke, no smoke. But they in the club smoking weed. And the bar is just like kind of like a spot to hang out. People are different. People have changed. The younger generation has changed from the old generation. The old generation, during my early 20s club days, it was no such thing as weed in the club at all. If you got caught smoking weed in the club, you would get arrested. But now you could do it in many places. So it's okay. They've changed. All right. So that's pretty much what it is. And I know some of y'all are alcohol experts. I be getting some of these phone calls. It's like, man, you got the cartoon Burt going on. You're an alcohol expert. But the young folks, they don't really call me 3 sheets to the wind. They like him, my man, that just called smoking weed. You see, that's the difference between my generation and older and the Gen Zs, the 20-somethings. That's the difference between us. Hold on. FM Ranger says, drunk driving and the breathalyzer does not work on weed, ABL. Well, what does work is if you smoke weed in your car. If they smell weed, pull you over. Sir, are you under the influence? Do you have any drugs in your car? Now you about to get locked up. Yoli says, my sister's in California. Weed is legal there. She doesn't allow weed smoking in her home. Well, I would hope not. I would hope not. I would hope people wouldn't smoke anything in their house. One thing I don't like is going to your house and you got a stench in your house. Cigarettes, weed, some of these dogs that y'all not washing. Hey, I told y'all before, when I was trying to find my house back in 2020, before I had this one built, I was just trying to find a house that was for sale, already ready to rock. Go to one place, and the agent is like right outside, like at the door. I'm like, why are you right here at the door? You should be kind of like inside a little bit, greeting us for the open house. Well, right when I got to the door, immediately dog smell. Instantly. It's like, man, I can't, man. Like, ain't no amount of paint gonna take that dog smell out. The hardwood floors gotta go. The drywall gotta go. The framing, the 2x4s, the beams all gotta go. Cause that dog smell, good grief. Anyway, yeah, I don't like no stench in your house. So no weed smoke, no cigarette smoke, no dogs peeing on the ground, cats doing the same thing. Clean your house. More of the story, keep your house clean. And smelling good too. But all right. That might be enough for me tonight. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Y'all know I'm here each and every day putting out content on the YouTubes, Facebooks, Instagram, everywhere. Occasionally the TikToks and the Twitter might get some love, but definitely Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm here every day putting out content. And I'll be back live on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel. 8 p.m. Standard Time right now. Y'all know the thing. Also, you guys who were there on Instagram live last night, thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all. That was a good show. And I got clips from that coming up tomorrow, as I do with all the Instagram lives. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. You can hear it on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or visit your favorite audio streaming platform and go to and search ABL Live House to pop right on up. All right. That's a wrap from me. Did I get everybody on the super chats? I believe that I did. Again, thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Without you, there is no me. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. But I'll be back again Saturday, 8 p.m. to right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live every day, pre-recorded, Instagram, 9 p.m. live. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.